AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Hi there, it's the John Kobylt Show. We are on from 3 to 6 every day, Monday to Friday, and then after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand. That's the podcast. So whatever you miss on the radio show, you can hear on the podcast because they're both the same thing. Also the same thing, but you get video, is we're on YouTube. YouTube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. YouTube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. We're live now, and we only need 83 more subscribers to hit 8,000. So we could do that today. So let the stampede begin. There are no prizes. It's just the fellowship of belonging to an ever-growing group. 83 to 8,000. So head there now. Now, just like yesterday when the news about Newsom saying he's being targeted by the Department of Justice broke just moments before the show, same thing happened today involving Nithya Raman making a television appearance and the California Post doing a story on it. We're going to get to that after 3:30. So you be around because we've got some clips of Nithya Raman trying to explain herself. She seems to have an interest now in what LA is like for the children, or at least her children. I'm not sure she gives a crap about everybody else's kids, considering her past statements and past policies. But now she's suddenly worried about her kids living in LA. So we're going to talk about that massive hypocrisy coming up. But first, there is a follow-up to Newsom. Newsom is such a deceitful liar, as we all know. And it's interesting because nobody had the guts up until recently to investigate him. And I understand this has been going on behind the scenes, which is part of the story here. But it just seemed he was Teflon for the longest time. And there were investigative reports online done by the likes of Jennifer Van Laar, for example, with Red State, Susan Crabtree, who wrote a book about it called Fool's Gold. And I'm going to be reading you some stuff that they posted today. But it just seemed that all the major media outlets wouldn't touch him. They're so ridiculously progressive, the news directors. The only reporter on TV, internet, print, radio, the only reporter that consistently goes after Newsom is Ashley Zavala from Channel 3 in Sacramento. It's shocking. And I know what it is. I mean, it probably sounds like I'm making a joke, but the people who run the newsrooms are far left wing, and they will do no compromising on ignoring the sins committed by their progressive leaders. And I think I saw somebody posted online who worked for TMZ said there's no way TMZ covers a lot of the stuff they should because they're so progressive. They don't want to do any damage to the movement or any damage to their icons. So it makes getting the truth to a wide audience really difficult. I mean, Jennifer Van Laar for Red State and Susan Crabtree, they have done a great job. The reach, unfortunately, is not as wide as it needs to be. And we just have to keep plugging away here because we're all telling you the truth. He and his wife are really bad people. They're really deceitful grifters. There's no question about it. So there's been an investigation with the Department of Justice going back a couple of years to when Joe Biden was president. So what Newsom did yesterday is he tried to get ahead of the story, as these political jerks like to say, these liars, these manipulators. You get ahead of the story, and what you do is you give out a false version of the story, but whoever gets out the story first usually wins because people are easily misled, easily manipulated, and rarely hear the follow-ups. Once they have it in their heads, like, yeah, Trump's going after Newsom. It's like, oh, okay, Trump's going after Newsom, and that's it. They don't stop and think. It's like, wow, geez, I get lied to in the media all day long. In fact, when pollsters call, all people say, hey, yeah, we get lied to all day long. Well, he came out yesterday and said, Trump is after me. Trump is after my wife. Shame on him. Jennifer Newsom says he has no boundaries from a woman who's all entangled with Harvey Weinstein. That was pretty entertaining. It turns out that the investigation has been around a while, going back to the Bidens, is based, it seems, largely in Sacramento, at the local Sacramento Department of Justice, the federal office, but it is based in Sacramento, and it involves whistleblowers in Santa Monica, in Sacramento, whistleblowers who are telling the truth. And it centers around Jennifer Newsom and her taxes, and centers around Dana Williamson, Newsom's former chief of staff, who was a severe alcoholic, an angry bully of a woman, who has already pleaded guilty to felonies involving stolen money from Javier Bacaria's campaign account. And she's going to prison for it. And I remember, I think I said to Katie Grimes from California Globe, who's another one has been on top of all this stuff. Way back when the Dana Williamson story broke, I said, is this the beginning of the end with Newsom? Is this finally the dam is breaking? And she goes, it might be. Because Dana Williamson, the former chief of staff, and Jennifer Newsom apparently are the main targets. Newsom may be a target, but not necessarily in the investigation that's going after Williamson and Jennifer Newsom. But you see the misdirection he pulled? He said, well, it's Trump coming after me because I'm running for president. He slipped that in. He'd never said that before. Or I'm considering running for president. However, this oily little weasel likes to phrase things. I mean, he was so enamored of Bill Clinton, and he is copying Clinton's playbook right to the letter, playing with language. And so Dana Williamson is a bad woman. She drank so much, she recently got a liver transplant. And I don't know how bitter she is because she's the one going to jail. And she's probably thinking, well, the hell with this. Why am I going to jail? I blew up my liver from all the stress dealing with all the Sacramento politics. And she apparently was just a nasty, ruthless witch of a woman. Well, maybe she's talking. I don't know. Looks like she's getting investigated with Jennifer Newsom. Whether these are separate cases or together cases, I don't know. But what you have here, I'll tell you about what Jennifer Van Laar wrote recently with redstate.com. And we talked about this some yesterday, but she did the math regarding Gavin Newsom's income. He has to pay $450,000 in federal and state taxes on a yearly income of $1.4 million. Only $200,000 of that comes from his salary as governor. So $1.4 million, $450,000 in taxes, $200,000 paid to domestic workers. That's quite a staff. I guess Jennifer doesn't do anything except her hair and nails. And Gavin doesn't do anything either.
Except change the names of boy characters to women in books.
That too, yeah. Gavin's only doing his hair and nails. They spend $150,000 on private school tuition, $200,000 in property taxes, $20,000 in utility costs. Now we're at $1 million. Now at $120,000 a year in mortgage payments for the Sacramento house and $500,000 a year in mortgage payments in the new house. And Newsom's in-laws, Jennifer's parents, had to guarantee it. So $500,000 for one mortgage, $120,000 for another mortgage, $450,000 in federal and state taxes, $200,000 for domestic workers, $150,000 for private. You could see he is spending way more money than what's coming in. And that's not including food, clothes, entertainment, and sports for 4 kids. Their financial disclosure forms don't show any large sale of assets. And Gavin cannot sell assets out of his blind trust, which governs the companies he's involved in. And that's where the bulk of his assets are. If the trustee sells the assets, the proceeds have to stay in the trust as long as he's in office. So he doesn't have access to the trust. He doesn't have access to whatever's inside that. So how's he making his bills? That's the question. Is there outside money coming in to keep these two grifters afloat? We'll tell you more about his financial situation. But I know you could probably relate all this stuff. A $500,000 mortgage.
Oh, sure.
$500,000. $500,000 a year for a mortgage. That is a tremendous amount of money.
You said I can relate to that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
No, you can relate to that.
No, actually, I can't. No, I'm far, far short of that.
Okay, then I'm far short from that.
Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour news.
Here is the latest. 2 local men are among the people across the U.S. charged with plotting an attack during Sunday's UFC event at the White House. The LA County Board of Supervisors has unanimously approved a proposal to streamline homelessness prevention services. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour. We are going to go to the 110 next.
If you're looking to sell your home, you call Seller's Advantage, and they're going to make you a cash offer, no need for repairs. They will closing days. They buy with cash. They buy as is. And Seller's Advantage will offer you perhaps a $10,000 advance to help with moving. Go read the reviews online. You'll see how happy everybody is. There's no obligation offer for you at 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-2747, sellersadvantage.com. Sing it.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 0196165, Providence Realty, DRE number 019152212.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center. Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny tomorrow, high 70s to the 90s. This report brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Crash on the 110 in South LA.
That's heading northbound just after Imperial Highway. The 2 left lanes are taken away there. You'll see some heavy traffic backed up to about El Segundo Boulevard. And if you're on the 405 southbound in Long Beach, right before Woodruff, still have a crash there that has the right lane off limits. That's slowing you down from the 710. And a stalled Big Rig in Chino. This is on the 60 eastbound just before Ramona. That's taking up the middle lane. It's a pretty slow crawl coming away from the 71. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Pedro Moreno.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This report is sponsored by rockauto.com.
Oof, shocking time to lose a whole strut.
Ugh, comedy is not your thing, but I do know that Rock Auto has what I need to fix it.
With parts shipped right to your door. No kidding.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Car keeps going back to the dealership for the same problem? You may qualify for a refund or replacement under California Lemon Law. Visit lemonwins.com to see if your car qualifies. That's lemonwins.com.
Just Food for Dogs, the #1 vet-recommended fresh dog food. Made right here in LA.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
If you run a business, consider this. 77% of Americans say our nation's 250th birthday is an appropriate time to celebrate. That gives you the green light to advertise. Let iHeart help you advertise around America 250. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business at iHeartAdvertising.com.
Clean out your closet, donate your clothes, and earn rewards with Trashy. Send your clothes somewhere better and get cash back on every bag. Get unlimited take-back bags all year for just $48. Trashy. Clean out, donate, earn.
The biggest FIFA World Cup ever has started.
The most goals the United States have ever scored in a World Cup game.
The only place to hear the action for free is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026
live. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeartRadio app.
Just search World Cup.
Don't miss Team USA's next match Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern against Australia.
The world is listening. Are you?
iHeartRadio FIFA World Cup Update.
As the U.S. prepares for its next match, midfielder Tyler Adams says they're getting bonding time off the field.
Whether it's watching the World Cup game, whether it's watching Stanley Cup, whether it's watching NBA Finals, it's a great moment for sports right now, just in general. It's a great moment for our team just to be able to spend time with each other.
The U.S. meets Australia Friday. Meanwhile, Lionel Messi and Argentina will start their repeat quest tonight against Algeria.
For live Fox coverage, search World Cup now on the free iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. It's the John Kobylt Show, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Moist line for Friday, 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86, so the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. Oh, man, this Newsom stuff really smells here. Well, you know what I was going to do when I didn't get a chance, but I'll do it live on the air here. Let me see. Let's add up Gavin Newsom's monthly expenses. What we're trying to do is to figure out where he gets the money to pay his bills, because his salary and Jennifer Newsom's salary from her dubious nonprofit can't come near his expenses. So let me go on my iPad here, and we will do a calculation. So let's see, $500,000 a year for the big house, plus $120,000. This is the mortgage for the second house. All right, so he pays $620,000 a year for two mortgages, plus $450,000 for state and federal taxes, $200,000 for domestic workers, because he and Jennifer, there's no way that they're going to do the cleaning or the cooking or the laundry. No. Oh, look at that. $800,000 for hair gel. Good Lord. $150,000 for private tuition. You know, I can never do this on a calculator because I always end up screwing up and clearing out the whole thing. Isn't that pathetic? I'm like the saddest guy in the world. All right, I'm going to do it again. You're just going to have to put up with this. I'm going to do this. You're going to listen to a guy working a calculator on the radio, and you're going to like it. All right, 500,000 plus 120. What the hell did I do there? Oh, Jesus, get it. You're not going to listen to it because I 820, 970, 1100. Okay, I'll give you a rough estimate here. It's over 1.6 million. It's over 1.6 million in major expenses, and the income is 1.4 million. And again, he doesn't have any access to his trust. I see people online going, well, you know, he has winery. First of all, he can't access anything coming from the wineries. It's in a blind trust if they sell one. Secondly, all that was set up by the Gettys. He hasn't earned like a single clear dollar himself yet that wasn't off the taxpayers or didn't come in some way from the Getty family. All right, so clearly he's way overspending. Clearly they need a lot of extra money. Where would that come from? Now, yesterday I told you about the curious Jennifer Newsom scam where she, all right, now this is central to my theory of what's going on here. PG&E, as you know, has killed a lot of people over the years. 85,000 in Paradise, right? Because they didn't take care of their electrical equipment, started a huge fire, and 85,000 people were burned to death. Burned to death. Imagine the screaming and suffering. Procter & Gamble, PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, is liable for all this between the civil and criminal costs there. It was overwhelming. So Newsom came up with a way to bail them out. In return, though, he wanted something. Newsom wanted campaign contributions, and he said, give to Jennifer's feminist film nonprofit. So they did. And Jennifer Newsom, as I said yesterday, cranks out these horrifically irritating, obnoxious feminist films. So she gets money from Gavin's donors, and then she gets money from the public school systems because she charges a license fee up to around $500 to run the films. And the kids ages 11 to 14 are forced to watch. So she's reaping money from the taxpayers. Their kids are getting indoctrinated with her feminist nonsense and gender nonsense. Remember the genderbread characters? He's getting campaign contributions for PG&E. She takes money into her nonprofit and somehow funnels that money into her for-profit company called Girls Club Entertainment. The nonprofit company pays her a salary, which has totaled over $1.5 million in recent years. And the for-profit company sends the profits to her as well. So I don't know how much money she's getting, and I wonder if they're reporting it all. It could be in a maze of LLCs or trusts or who knows what. But something doesn't match up here. And the corporate donation money is out of sight right now. Susan Crabtree was part of an investigative team that wrote about Gavin Newsom's role in all this corruption. The book was called Fool's Gold. We've had her on about it. And she reported that Newsom and his wife's gender justice nonprofits had collected a combined total of $700,000 in donations and behested payments from PG&E. You're going to hear that term, behested payment, a lot as this continues. It's an unfamiliar term. I'm sure you've never used it in life. But what it is Newsom calls PG&E and says, Jennifer needs $250,000. Give it to her. So then they donate it to her nonprofit, and she makes the screwy feminist films, and then some money is skimmed off and sent to her for-profit company. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's the gist of it. There's a lot of chicanery going on. There's a lot of misdirection going on. It's like those 3-card Monte dealers. PG&E, of course, is desperate to avoid permanent bankruptcy because of all the people they killed. So you could see how their interests would come together. Jennifer is co-founder of the California Partners Project, a nonprofit that wants to get more women onto corporate boards, address the gender pay gap, and make technology safer for children. Some of the donors that support the California Partners Project are groups with businesses before the state government. And so nobody knows exactly what the investigators are going for here, but it kind of smells. Then you have the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. He posted, "This attack on Governor Newsom represents a dangerous escalation by Trump." Well, as Matt Kwan online pointed out, the Pritzker family donated to Jennifer Seibel's nonprofit and sold the $9 million house that the Newsoms now live in. This is the Pritzker family. The J.B. Pritzker, well, not his, not he and his wife, but his generational wealth that everybody in the Pritzker family shares. Some of that was the house that was sold to the Newsoms through this mysterious LLC that Newsom is somehow paying a $500,000 mortgage on. So, of course, Pritzker is running out there and blaming Trump, and Newsom is blaming Trump, but it all seems to be misdirection. Now, when I come back, I'm going to play you a clip, and this was on CNN. Ellie Honig is the former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York and a CNN senior legal analyst. And She says you have to doubt Newsom's story here. All right? And watch the people who are defending Newsom and going after Trump, because Pritzker's family is involved, is connected to the biggest asset that Newsom has, which is that $9 million house. This is how the real world works. Oh, I'm way late. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
2 local men are among 5 people across the U.S. charged with plotting an attack during Sunday's UFC event at the White House. One is from Riverside County, the other from San Bernardino County. Federal prosecutors allege the 5 colluded in online chats to use drones with explosives. The U.S. Justice Department says they joined an online chat group called Vanguard of the Old Republic, which is accessible on TikTok and Signal. The LA County Board of Supervisors has unanimously approved a proposal to streamline homelessness prevention services, including help for people displaced by the Palisades and Eaton fires. A motion by Supervisors Catherine Barger and Lindsay Horvath establishes the creation of a countywide homelessness prevention resource page on the county website and a coordinated referral system designed to connect residents with housing assistance before they lose their homes. Republican candidate for governor Steve Hilton says the $355 billion state budget, which lawmakers passed just before last night's deadline, is more of the same in the wrong direction.
More spending, more borrowing billions. I've been going through it. Running deficits, draining the reserves, and worst of all, when we have the highest cost of living in the country, more and higher taxes.
The budget is about $6 billion higher than what Governor Newsom proposed in May. It's expected to be the largest in state history. The legislature and Newsom have 2 weeks to finalize and sign off on the spending plan. Economists and industry analysts say even after oil starts flowing again from the Middle East, it could take a while for the war's effects on consumer prices to recede. That's because the fighting also disrupted supply chains for fertilizer, food, and other items. Experts say that as long as business costs are elevated, consumer prices are likely to also be up. We're going to go to the 605 next.
GiveMeTheVin.com gives you the most money for your used car, period. It's that simple. If you don't believe me, go read the thousands of reviews online. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com. Read the reviews. They'll sell your car from $2,000 to $200,000. GiveMeTheVin.com gives you the most money. You put in your VIN and license plate number, and you will get in 60 seconds an offer. Better than any other dealer. 60-second bid process, pressure-free service, free pickup. GiveMeTheVin.com. Get your check on the spot.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI. The low clouds and fog back again in the morning, then sunny. Highs mid-70s to low 80s. Metro LA, upper 70s to mid-80s in the valleys. 80s to around 90 and windy in the high desert. Low 70s at the beaches. Mid to upper 70s inland OC, mid 80s to low 90s and windy in the IE. Right now, 79 in Laguna Woods, 82 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Crash on the 605 in Pico Rivera.
That's heading southbound right at Beverly Boulevard. It's taking up the middle lane. You'll see some slowing as you come away from Rose Hills Road. And if you're on the 110 northbound in South LA, that's just after the 105. Looks like a crash. Still has the 2 left lanes off limits, so it's causing some heavy traffic from Rosecrans. And the 15 northbound in the Cajon Pass, right at the 138, there's a stall. That's blocking the middle lane, slowing you down from Kenwood. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Pedro Moreno.
I'm Duncan Newman, owner of Newman Windows and Doors.
And I'm Maria Newman. When you choose Newman, you get more than new windows. You get our 7-point promise. Certified craftsmen only, no subcontractors, transparent pricing guaranteed, and more.
Right now, buy 2 Milgard vinyl windows and get 1 Milgard window free, plus our lifetime installation guarantee. At Newman, we finish it right, period. No excuses.
Ask about our fire recovery program, 8777-NEWMAN or NewmanWindows.com.
Restrictions apply. License number 570472. Offer ends June 30th, 2026.
Think back. All those times you questioned everything and wondered why you didn't trust yourself. What if those thoughts could be eliminated? Truth is, those thoughts come from a hidden part of your mind. At a Dianetics seminar, you'll learn and apply powerful techniques to address the hidden source of your stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. It's hands-on, and you'll put the tools to work immediately. In just one weekend, you'll discover exactly how the mind works and increase your happiness and restore trust in yourself. A single weekend can change everything. Register today and take charge of your mental health. Go to Dianetics.org/seminar. That's Dianetics.org/seminar.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Would you take 15 seconds to save 15% to freshen your breath? Go to Zelmans.com and use the code SAVE. That's ZELMINS.com. Use the code SAVE for fresh, clean breath for hours.
Call 844-GO-SMILE to learn about the new Lifestyle Smile dental implants from Lasting Smiles.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST Medical.
This is Jacob Emrani. When you need help after an accident, I'm here for you.
Accident or injury, call Jacob Emrani. Call Jacob.
Celebrate America's 250th birthday, Saturday, July 4th, when the Dodgers take on the Padres. Gates open early for a full day of festivities, and the first 40,000 fans will take home a special 250th commemorative coin presented by Budweiser. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Gearing up for summer travel? Then it's time to put that old car in your driveway to good use. Hey, it's Conway, and here's the deal. Donate your car to Cars for Kids in just 2 minutes. Go to carsforkids.org or phone them up, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K. Any condition, they'll take it and tow it for free. You'll get a tax deduction, a 3-day, 2-night hotel stay to use this summer. 2 minutes, free pickup, and a free vacation? Wow. Donate your car today at carsforkids.org or call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K.
The House Whisperer meets the Horse Gambler. Dean Sharp joins Tim Conway Jr. every Thursday evening at 7:20.
More stimulating talk
on KFI.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show. We are on every day 3 to 6, and we're going through the possible avenues of investigation for the Department of Justice into Gavin and Jennifer Newsom's finances. According to reports, Jennifer Newsom's getting investigated over tax issues, and Dana Williamson, Newsom's former chief of staff, is getting investigated. She's already going to prison because she pled guilty to being part of a plot to steal. They were stealing money from Javier Baccarria's campaign account. And he did a misdirection play yesterday saying, well, this is Trump's coming after me. Well, these reports indicate he's going after the wife and Dana Williamson, maybe going after Newsom too, but that's not in these reports yet. And the truth is, as Jennifer Van Laar is reporting with Red State, if you count up his expenses, $1.6 million in major expenses, $1.4 million in income, not counting food, clothes, entertainment, and sports, all the expenses for the 4 kids. This doesn't add up. He's got 2 homes, both bought through LLCs, and he simply doesn't make the money. And whatever assets are in his wineries, they're in a blind trust. He can't touch them. Now, of course, all the news media who love to give Newsom and Jennifer a luxurious tongue bath didn't get into the details. These started leaking out yesterday, late afternoon, from various independent journalists. But Ellie Honig went on CNN. Now, she's the former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. That's the New York City area. She is now the senior legal analyst for CNN. So when she was former assistant U.S. attorney, that's basically the same job that Bill Asaley has now. Although Bill Asaley is running the Central District. Ellie Honig was an assistant U.S. attorney. And she is skeptical of Newsom's public story. Let's play cut 2.
Well, based on what we know right now, Caitlin, I think there's serious reason to doubt the narrative that's being offered by Gavin Newsom, which is that he is being specifically targeted by Donald Trump for political retribution. Now, to be sure, it is a fact that this administration has done that time and again, from Letitia James to Jim Comey to Jerome Powell to Mark Kelly on down the line. But based on the facts we know here, we don't know everything. It does not appear that that's what's happening here. First of all, very importantly, as Paula said, the reporting is that this investigation did not initiate from Donald Trump or even from prosecutors in D.C. So not from Pam Bondi when she was AG, not from Todd Blanche. Rather, it arose organically from the U.S. Attorney's Office out in the Eastern District of California based on a whistleblower complaint, reportedly, which is a normal way that cases start. And second of all, if they are, in fact, investigating people around Gavin Newsom, as Paula just reported, then sure, you would expect feds to be knocking on doors and asking questions of people around Gavin Newsom. So I think the narrative that he offered up today is self-serving and a bit overly simplistic, given the actual facts as we know them.
Okay, I don't think the speaker's name was Eli Honig, but he is a legal commentator for CNN, and you heard his story. The narrative that Newsom offers, the narrative. That's journalists speak for the lie. That's what in fact, let's say husband comes home at 2 o'clock in the morning, reeking of booze and perfume and lipstick, and he left his pants in the car.
It is Eli Honig, by the way.
Oh, was Eli Honig?
Yeah.
Eli Honig's.
Yeah.
That's a guy?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, we had it right the first time. I just thought Ellie was a female's name, E-L-I-E. Fine. Anyway, so imagine, the theoretical husband here comes home and he's drunk, his pants are down, and he's got perfume and lipstick all over him. And he has some preposterous story that he was attacked by some crazed lady in his office building as he was leaving, and that he hasn't done anything terribly wrong. That would be called a narrative by the people at CNN. In our world, we call that a big fat lie. Newsom is lying. Pending further details coming out, and if Newsom knows them, he's not sharing. So what do we do with a guy who's up to his ears in corruption in so many ways? And the first thing he does is he runs out and he claims, it's Trump. He's upset over my mean tweets. And what's kind of weird about him is how he tries to take not only Trump's tweeting style, but the criticisms that people use against progressives who complain about Trump. Oh, what are you upset about Trump's mean tweets? And so that's what Newsom is doing. Say, well, Trump is upset about my mean tweets. He's got this fixation on trying to imitate and mock what Trump does, and imitate and mock what the people who criticize him from Trump's side does. It's very strange. He's inhabited this persona, another persona. He's never authentic. He's never real. He knows his wife's getting investigated. He knows that they're spending at least $1.6 million, probably 1.7, 1.8 million. And his salary is 1.4. He knows there's money coming from somewhere else. He knows he's got corporations that are sending him money to his various political accounts. He knows that he's bullied PG&E and a ton of other companies to send money to Jennifer Newsom's array of nonprofits. But he figures his followers in California are so stupid that he just start babbling about Trump. Oh, Trump's out to get me. Trump's out to get me. I've got nothing. He's a simplistic moron. I'm going to play this clip again. And now that we've identified this guy, Eli Honig, listen again what he's saying here.
Well, based on what we know right now, Caitlin, I think there's serious reason to doubt the narrative that's being offered by Gavin Newsom, which is that he is being specifically targeted by Donald Trump for political retribution. Now, to be sure, it is a fact that this administration has done that time and again, from Letitia James to Jim Comey to Jerome Powell to Mark Kelly on down the line. But based on the facts we know here, we don't know everything. It does not appear that that's what's happening here. First of all, very importantly, as Paula said, the reporting is that this investigation did not initiate from Donald Trump or even from prosecutors in D.C. So not from Pam Bondi when she was AG, not from Todd Blanche. Rather, it arose organically from the U.S. Attorney's Office out in the Eastern District of California based on a whistleblower complaint, reportedly, which is a normal way that cases start. And second of all, if they are, in fact, investigating people around Gavin Newsom, as Paula just reported, then sure, you would expect feds to be knocking on doors and asking questions of people around Gavin Newsom. So I think the narrative that he offered up today is self-serving and a bit overly simplistic, given the actual facts as we know them.
Oh, wow. Self-serving, overly simplistic. Newsom knows what he's doing. It just doesn't work anymore on normal people. And he doesn't know it doesn't work anymore. The journalist Jennifer Van Laar says that the Newsoms should be very worried because there's multiple ways they've been committing fraud, tax fraud, unreported income. There's no way the lifestyle they're living is funded by the income they report. And she's right. Something is up. And Newsom also, we found out, paid a $31,000 ethics fine. California's political watchdog has found that Newsom failed to disclose millions of dollars in donations that he solicited. I'm going to give you more details on this when we come back. But yeah, he's been fined. And look, now we're talking about one of the fire funds. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A small plane has crashed while landing at Whiteman Airport in Pacoima. Governor Newsom says his office is requesting all public information referencing himself and his wife from the Justice Department. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We're going to go back to the 110 next.
You've been seriously hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. There's only one firm to call, Sweet James. Read this. Check this out. A city vehicle ran a stop sign at 50 miles an hour. The crash caused catastrophic injuries, changed 2 lives instantly. Sweet James took the case all the way to trial. The jury returned a verdict of almost $17.5 million. Now, they can't guarantee or predict the outcome of your case. Every situation is different. But when you are seriously injured, you want a firm like Sweet James on your side. You pay no fees or cost until they win. They serve all of California, an office in Los Angeles too. If you or someone you love has been seriously hurt in an accident, you call Sweet James. The number is 1-800-9-MILLION, 1-800-9-MILLION, 1-800-9-000-000, or go visit sweetjames.com.
From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Back to the 110 in South LA.
That's northbound just after Imperial Highway. The 2 left lanes blocked off due to a 3-car wreck, so your drive is heavy as you come away from Redondo Beach Boulevard. In the southbound side of the 110 in South LA, just before Gage, you'll see a crash there that has the middle lane blocked. It'll be slowing you down from about the 101. And if you're on the 5 northbound in Irvine, right at Jeffrey Road, we have a motorcycle down in the middle lane. And then you'll see some debris scattered across the 2 left lanes as well. So that's holding you back from about the 133. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Pedro Moreno.
This is Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Fox One.
Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert will throw during all 3 days of the team's mandatory minicamp after taking days off during OTAs. The Dodgers continue their series against Tampa Bay tonight with sights on a second straight win. Justin Robleski takes the ball for LA. Major League Baseball warning teams against riding on caps after Giants players put Bible verses on their Pride Night covers. I'm Frank Aaron.
The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official English streaming platform to catch every unforgettable moment. Fox One brings the action straight to your screen, so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Now in stock at Lowe's, get the roofing brand you trust, including GAF, Owens Corning, and CertainTeed with more colors to choose from. Order by 4 p.m. and get next day job site delivery on select items as early as 6:30 a.m. Delivery Monday through Saturday and select zip codes, subject to availability.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
America's 250th anniversary is a big event. And if you're promoting a business, your advertising plan needs to be bigger than one channel. iHeart can help you bring your message to life across podcasts and broadcast, meaning your business will show up with scale and depth wherever your customers are listening. America 250 builds up into the July 4th weekend when listeners are traveling, celebrating, and tuned in. Let iHeart help you surround those moments. Call 844-844-iHeart today to get started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Please be advised, you may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
I thought those were good for me.
What's healthy for one person may cause inflammation for another. So how do you know what your body actually needs? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple at-home gut health test that analyzes your real-time biology to give you personalized nutrition guidance and custom supplements. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase.
Years of early mornings, every weekend, every holiday, all for one dream: to play on the LPGA Tour. She finally turned pro. Now, she just needs a stage worthy of her talent. Next Golf is that stage, a professional women's tour in Florida built to give these athletes the runway they've earned. Support her journey at nextgolf.com/support. That's nxxtgolf.com. Play it forward.
Gold and silver recently hit record highs, then pulled back. So are metals still a good buy? Many experts say yes. Gold remains a long-standing hedge for wealth protection. Visit LearCapital.com for a free gold kit. LearCapital.com, LearCapital.com.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
Great news if you listen to all 3 hours of the Gary and Shannon show. Yawning may be good for your brain.
That was hurtful. Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow at 9.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show on from 3 to 6 after 6 o'clock. John Kobylt Show on demand. Oh, look at this. You know, we're live on YouTube right now. We're live on YouTube. Head there. And we're 65 subscribers away from 8,000. So we went from 80 to 65 in the first 45 minutes or so. So let's get to it. Let's hit 8,000 before the end of the show. Again, there's no prizes. We've been going through Gavin Newsom and all his suspicious finances with his wife, Jennifer Newsom, and Dana Williamson, his chief of staff, all kinds of investigations going on, apparently. Not from Donald Trump. That's Newsom's lie. Started in the Sacramento Department of Justice office from whistleblowers, people working in government in Sacramento. What do they know about Jennifer Newsom's tax situation? That's interesting. Newsom, though, this is the next day. Yeah, I wonder if he went out and made a big stink about Trump, because today he's agreed to pay a $31,500 ethics fine The Fair Political Practices Commission said Newsom did not file 36 reports about these behested payments. There's that word again. 36 times in 2024 and 2025. He did not file reports on time for political contributions that he bullied corporations to make to certain charities, certain nonprofits that Newsom favored. And I call them political contributions because they are. They have to maintain Newsom. They have to maintain favor with Newsom. They have to stay in good standing with Newsom. And when he says, "Hey, give Jennifer $100,000," they give Jennifer $100,000. They do. This is $5.5 million in corporations, in payments from corporations, foundations, and other donors. $5.5 million. 36 separate payments. He didn't report them on time in 2024 and 2025. Why the delay? What was the strategic advantage he got from delaying those payment announcements? And this is big. $1 million from the Chuck Lorre Foundation. Wasn't he the TV producer? Yeah, he did the Charlie Sheen.
That's right.
What was that? 2.5 Men.
2.5 Men.
$500,000 from BlackRock. That's a major investment firm. $500,000 from Uber Eats. Yeah, it's good to know that when you order Uber Eats delivery, some of that money is going to Gavin and Jennifer Newsom. Lockheed Martin, Anthem Blue Cross, $250,000 from Apple, $200,000 from Amazon. They're all greasing Newsom and his wife to get favors from Newsom, favorable legislation, and unfavorable legislation blocked. $150,000 from Verizon and American Express. 34 of the payments went to the California Fire Foundation. When Newsom or his staff directed people to pay to the nonprofit, which is supposed to support firefighters and fire victims. But if you remember, we found out that very little of that money reached the fire victims. This is separate than the fire aid money. There is 2 pots of money that never reached the fire victims. One that Newsom put together and one that came from that fire aid concert. Not the first time he's been fined. He's been fined $10,000 back in 2024 for late reports involving $14 million in behested payments. Some of them were filed more than 6 months late. This isn't hard to do, to fill out filing paperwork. And I'm looking to see if there's anything here beyond that. No, you get the idea. So this is a tremendous scandal in so many different ways, and you can just add the fire scandal to it. You know, I don't think that got a lot of coverage, but he put together a big fire fund, and the money didn't go to the fire victims, and fire aid didn't go to the fire victims, and you might as well have taken all the money and thrown it into the fire itself for all the good that it did. But hey, you know, he's really handsome. You know, he's got thick hair, and although I think dark-haired Newsom was more attractive than dishwater gray Newsom.
You think?
I think so.
Oh.
I think there's a brief period where I don't know, he's letting the hair dye slowly run out. I think it was heavy hair dye for a while.
Men can get away with letting their hair go gray.
Yeah, but he's not
attractive men.
He's not quite the hottie that he used to be.
I'm sure others would disagree.
It may be, because I'm not particularly wired for that.
You're not.
No. You never seem to be a big fan of his looks.
I think he is very attractive.
Oh, well, this is new.
But that doesn't sway me whether I'm a Newsom fan or not.
No?
Because of looks. No, I don't work
Does
that
everybody
way.
else?
Not me.
Tiffany 2, Gavin, he loves you.
All right, we come back. Another big gaping phony is Nithya Raman. Nithya Raman famously refused to move homeless encampments in front of elementary schools in her own district and always voted against any other council person who wanted to move a homeless encampment in their district. Well, now it seems she's claiming that the reason she ran for mayor against Bass is she was worried about the future that her children were going to experience in Los Angeles. Her children. We got some clips for you. She was on Channel 5 today. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Plot prevented. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The FBI says it has disrupted an alleged plot targeting the UFC event at the White House on Sunday called Freedom 250. It says the threat involved using explosive drones to target buildings in the area to prompt a mass evacuation. Secret Service Deputy Director Matt Quinn says 5 people are now in custody.
I'd say it was unique due to the numbers involved, the level of planning involved. Thankfully, our advanced threat interdiction unit got on top of it very early.
One of the 5 arrested is from Riverside County. The other is from, or another one is from San Bernardino County. The Whiteman Airport Coalition says the plane that crashed this morning landed safely on the runway, but the landing gear didn't work properly, which is why it went through a perimeter fence. The LA Fire Department says a single-engine Cessna came to a stop just past the end of the runway in Pacoima, and crews contained a 5-gallon fuel spill, so there was no active fire. Supporters of operations at Whiteman Airport say the latest crash highlights the need for more money for safety precautions at the facility. The crash comes less than a month after LA County staff recommended a number of steps to improve safety at the airport. But some critics want the county to go further and close the airport following several crashes in recent years. The man accused of killing his wife in L.A., then taking off with the couple's 5-year-old daughter, has been caught.
On Monday, Ruben Fregoso was arrested in Mexico. His daughter, Deleza Fregoso, was found safe and is expected to be reunited with family members in the coming days. The LAPD, FBI, U.S. Marshals Service, and Mexican authorities were part of the manhunt. Ruben Fregoso is accused of killing Marisol Garcia Palacios on or near May 25th. He will be extradited to L.A. to face charges including murder and child abuse. He faces 25 years to life in prison if convicted as charged. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
CAL FIRE officials say the Shore Fire in Calamasa in Riverside County has burned 2,600 acres. It's 25% surrounded. They say crews are making headway with efforts to get the upper hand on the Max Fire in Stevenson Ranch. They say that one has burned 45 acres and is 40% surrounded. Governor Newsom says his office is requesting all public information referencing himself and his wife from the Justice Department. ABC's Alex Mallon says DOJ officials may be trying to find something related to the Newsom's finances.
The idea that the investigators would be combing through his private financial records is highly concerning to Governor Newsom, regardless of where this investigation may or may not end up.
Newsom claims he's being targeted by the Justice Department. The San Andreas Fault and San Jacinto Fault Zone are at their highest stress level in 1,000 years.
A study from the University of Hawaii at Manoa says the fault lines have reached unprecedented levels. The stress is usually released periodically in major earthquakes, but has continued to build in the 160 years since the last major rupture on the faults. The U.S. Geological Survey's Catherine Scherer.
You have the release of that tectonic energy in these big earthquakes and how much time between that.
The study says the fault system is in a critically loaded state. Mark Rauner, KFI News.
Republican Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he believes President Trump and the White House are on the right track in terms of a peace deal with Iran, but he says he and members of Congress need more information about the Memorandum of Understanding.
I fully believe that the president and his team are moving in the right direction, getting the strait open, getting the shipping lanes open again.
Iran's top diplomat says the tentative deal to end the war will need Israel to withdraw from Lebanon. We're going to head over to the 210 next.
Lasting Smiles dental implants. You need to transform your smile. Everybody's seen it. It's filled with rot, decay, discoloration. There's missing teeth. There's brown teeth. We don't know what's going on in there. Lasting Smiles Summer Smile Special. If you're living with all the rotted, decayed teeth, you go to Lasting Smiles, get a free comprehensive dental exam, full 3D imaging, custom treatment plan, payments as low as $149 a month on approved credit. $149 a month. You can do that. Mention KFI or John. Go to lastingsmiles.com. 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI. We have the low clouds and fog again in the morning, and then it will be sunny. Highs mid-70s to low 80s. Metro LA, upper 70s to mid-80s in the valleys. 80s to around 90 and windy in the high desert. Low 70s at the beaches. Mid to upper 70s inland OC. Mid-80s to low 90s and windy in the IE. Right now, 76 in Tustin, 64 Laguna Beach, 88 in Chatsworth. It's 82 in Van Nuys. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supershore. Supershore.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 329. S&P 500 down 43 and NASDAQ down 308. Crash on the 210 in Pasadena.
So this one has been reported along the westbound side. Coming up on Allen Avenue, that's where all of the action has been rolled into the center divider. But the drive is a mess, getting away from just about Rosemead. Eastbound slowing, also pushing back. We're seeing delays here away from not almost Mountain. Almost, but you're on the brakes beyond the scene of this crash, all the way to Foothill Boulevard. Let's also take a look at the drive out of Santa Monica, the eastbound side of the 10, loading up at Cloverfield, tough all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights. And in Anaheim, East 91, really slowing down at that 57 freeway towards Green River and into the Cajon Pass, the 15 northbound. Loading up at Glen Helen Parkway, looking tough all the way to the 138. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Joy is essential, and it's also elusive. But now, there's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Joy 101. If you're craving inspiration, support, and useful tools to maximize your joy, tune into these candid, uplifting, and moving on-air chats. Listen to Joy 101 on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Joy 101 and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Would you take 15 seconds to save 15% to freshen your breath? That's going on right now at Zellman's. Go to Zellmans.com and use the code SAVE. The benefits: confidence, no lingering food breath, convenience, freshness after meals or social situations, no garlic hangover. So how about the negatives? Actually, I can't think of any. Zellmans.com. That's ZELMINS.com. Use the code SAVE for fresh, clean breath for hours.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena. Streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
And you can be there
For a weekend full of superstar performances.
Are you ready?
Once-in-a-lifetime moments you'll have to see to believe.
We're getting this party going home.
Only limited single-night tickets remain. Get yours while you still can now at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We are on every day from 3 until 6. And after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. We're live on YouTube. You subscribe by going to youtube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. We have a new count. How many subscribers do we need until the magic 8,000 mark? 54. All right, 54. Let's do that over the next 2 hours. And then we'll all be a little happier because our community will be greater. The chances of change will increase. Now, after... what hour am I in here? 4:30. I'm going to talk with Rob Frankel from ABC News. Rich Frankel. He's the former special agent in charge with the FBI. He's now an ABC analyst. And this bizarro plot, and a couple of the guys, at least 2, were from California. They've caught 5 of them. They think there's 23. And to simply describe it, Rich Frankel will get into more details. They busted this up probably last week. Trump was hosting the UFC Freedom 250 fights at the White House, drew a big crowd. And what these terrorists wanted to do, and these are domestic terrorists, they were going to fly explosive drones into the area. And then as people ran out screaming, these guys were going to act as snipers and start picking the fans off. So they wanted to commit a mass murder a mass shooting, but they were thwarted by the FBI. Not enough attention and praise is given to law enforcement when they preempt some horrific tragedy. We're going to give it some attention coming up after 4:30 with Rich Frankel. All right. Nithya Raman, this just came across right before the show. She was on Channel 5 KTLA. She was getting interviewed by Eric Spillman and Jessica Holmes. And I'm going to play you these clips, but it seems after spending years of refusing to listen to parents who didn't want encampments moved, I'm sorry, they wanted the encampments moved from in front of their schools. Raman would block those moves, famously saying it doesn't really matter if the homeless are 10 feet or 500 feet away from the kids. She also voted against every other council member's request to move encampments from their schools. She lost most of the time, maybe all the time. She always voted with the three other Democratic socialists that are on the city council. The Democratic Socialists, that's her weird cult party. They're not Democrats. They fought any move that would force the removal of encampments from in front of elementary schools. But she says now the reason she ran for mayor against Bass was she was worried about her children. So let's start with cut number 3.
You know, we were just talking about my children, and I have been so frustrated with the direction of things here in Los Angeles. Like many voters who supported Mayor Bass, I also had supported her. I felt an increasing sense of frustration with the direction of things here in Los Angeles. And I just decided that I couldn't afford to wait another 4 years for change to come. If we wanted to see change in Los Angeles, there wasn't another candidate getting into the race. I wanted to push forward and be that candidate of change who was talking about the issues that I hear about every single day, both on the campaign trail and in my council office, about the cost of living, about addressing our homelessness crisis, about delivering basic services. These are issues that feel urgent for Angelenos, and I want to address them urgently.
She's so full of feces. She absolutely is. She endorsed Bass just a few months ago and then changed her mind and ran herself. Bass policies were consistent. Bass was just as incompetent last year when Raman endorsed her as she was this year when Raman decided to oppose her. Nothing changed about Bass's policies. Raman is responsible for a lot of this. She's been on the city council for 6 years and is the chairwoman of the council committee on homelessness. She kills bills and projects that she doesn't agree with. She has a major force in directing where the money is wasted and stolen. I mean, she's absolute. This is Newsom level shamelessness. But to the credit of Jessica Holmes and Eric Spillman, it looks like they brought up her previous history, not wanting to remove homeless encampments from in front of schools. So play cut 4.
You heard the reaction in the room when you said that. What do you say to parents who are concerned with your stance on that? And will you enforce those existing laws that do say encampments need to be at least 500 feet away from a school or daycare?
We have to enforce all of the laws on the books. That is part of the role of the public safety system here in Los Angeles.
Wait, stop. What they had played was the famous clip of her not wanting to move the encampments from in front of schools and saying that it doesn't make a difference if it's 10 feet or 500 feet. And then she rolled her eyes at the parents and they started booing her. So they played that. And then they asked her a question. And she says, we have to enforce the law. She voted on city council every time not to enforce the law. Because in order to trigger the law, the council has to approve a particular site that the city can legally move the encampment. Every time she voted against it, we have to enforce the law. You voted time and time again not to. Play some more.
We have to enforce all of the laws on the books. That is part of the role of the public safety system here in Los Angeles. I'm a parent of 10-year-old twins who walk to school every single day. Their safety is of utmost importance to me, as is the safety of every child here in the city of Los Angeles. But I'm not going to pretend that our current system of laws around camping keeps people safe enough. What I've advocated for every single day on the council, what I've delivered in my district, is actual encampment reduction. That is what we need to be putting in place here in Los Angeles.
It doesn't really matter if it's 500 feet or less. Do you really believe it doesn't matter?
We are spending extraordinary resources right now moving, at best, with this 500-foot establishment, moving people a block down the street. That, to me, is not delivering greater safety for residents of that neighborhood, for children who are walking to school, walking past an encampment on your way to school, or an encampment 10 feet from a school. To me, this is all very unsafe, and it is safe for the families who live in that neighborhood, and it is safe for the people who are living on the street. Is this system working for Angelenos right now? That's what I would ask to everyone. And can we actually deliver a response with results that gets encampments out of neighborhoods, indoors, away from schools, away from places where families congregate?
She's absolutely amazing. First of all, there's a huge difference between being 10 feet away or 500 feet away. I can't imagine why we're spending huge resources to move encampments. I don't understand. What's the major resources? You tell them to pack up and go. That we're paying the cops every day. Every day, police do something different. Here, today, your job is to tell the people in this encampment, pack up their tents and go. Go. That doesn't cost any extra money. You have this enormous staff of outreach workers. You have the police. Tell you more when we come back. She is, yeah. She's a nut. That's why I call them the Psycho Sisters, Raman and Bass. Wow. Psychotic liar. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. 2 men arrested in connection with the alleged plot to attack UFC 250 at the White House are from Riverside and San Bernardino counties. A judge rules a woman from South LA who admitted suffocating her newborn daughter and 7-year-old daughter was insane at the time of the crimes. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour, going to the 5 next.
Byrna wants you to get prepared for summer. Byrna is offering $100 off the Byrna LE Gen 2. Byrna is spelled BYRNA.com. And get yours while supplies last. Byrna.com. Now, what is Byrna? Well, you may already own a gun, a firearm. But you pull that trigger, and now you're going to have to deal with a financial, legal, and emotional burden. The smarter option is Byrna. FBI says less than 0.01% of all altercations require a lethal response. So you may have a safety plan that includes a gun, but that's only necessary far less than 1% of the time. No permits or background checks are needed. The Byrna launcher has powerful deterrents like tear gas, kinetic rounds with a 600-foot range. One shot incapacitates an attacker for up to 40 minutes. Byrna is offering $100 off the Byrna LE Gen 2. Visit Byrna.com, BYRNA, and get yours while supplies last. Byrna.com.
From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Slow on the 5 in Burbank.
It's that northbound side of the 5, and that's where delays are really starting to fill in, getting away from Olive. You remain on the brakes and stretches all the way into Santa Clarita. That opens up for you just beyond, is that Lyons Avenue. Southbound side of the 5 looks pretty decent through that stretch. No problems leaving Highway 126, traveling back towards the 14. But if you are making that North 14 connection, you are on and off the brakes leaving the 5, and that opens up and looks much better once you pass Soledad Canyon Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports.
Presented by Capital One.
The PWHL Las Vegas expansion team has hired Kim Weiss to be their head coach ahead of the team's inaugural season. Weiss joins PWHL Vegas after spending the last 2 seasons with the Colorado Eagles of the Men's American Hockey League, where she became the second woman in AHL NHL history to serve as an assistant coach in a full-time role. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts. Capital One is a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network. With the Capital One Spark Cash Plus card, you earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase for your business. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/Spark Cash Plus for details.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Biggie Deals. Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie Deals. At $4, $6, and $8, pick one of the new Biggie Deals you're craving. For a pretty biggie deal, gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Don't let the June gloom fool you. Whether it's cool or hot, termites are still active. Droppings and discarded wings are signs of an infestation. Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free inspection. Get our no tent, no move out treatment with a 2-year warranty. Call 800-PACIFIC. Some restrictions apply.
Just Food for Dogs, the #1 vet recommended fresh dog food. Made right here in LA.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. Summer's heating up, but your wallet, doesn't have to. With American Vision Windows, new windows and doors don't have to cost you a thing until 2028. Book this June and pay nothing for 2 years. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com or call them at 888-686-8249, 888-686-8249. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. The offer ends June 30th.
If you run a business, you know how hard it is to get your customers' attention. Yet 85% of consumers say radio is the last thing they hear before shopping. Let iHeartRadio help you reach your next customer today at 844-844-iHeart.
Save on best of summer fruit at Whole Foods Market. Get organic yellow peaches for $3.99 per pound with Prime through June 23rd. Enjoy stone fruit season before it's too late. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Still stuck driving a lemon? If your car keeps going back to the dealership for the same issue, you could qualify for a refund, replacement, or cash compensation. Visit lemonwins.com or text lemon to lemon. That's lemonwins.com.
Clean out your closet, donate your clothes, and earn rewards with Trashy. Send your clothes somewhere better and get cash back on every bag. Get unlimited take-back bags all year for just $48. Trashy. Clean out, donate, earn.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Joy is essential and it's also elusive. But now there's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Joy 101. It's a new podcast hosted by me, Hoda Kotb. If you're craving inspiration to maximize your joy, tune into these candid, uplifting, and moving on-air chats. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Joy 101, and listen now. Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb is presented by CBS.
iHeartRadio FIFA World Cup Update.
France takes down Senegal 3-1 in group play action. French star Kylian Mbappe scores twice to become the country's all-time leading goal scorer.
That's another one! Out of nowhere!
Mbappe now has 58 career goals. 2 more matches are on the docket for today, including defending champion Argentina taking on Algeria at 9 o'clock.
For live Fox coverage, search World Cup now on the free iHeartRadio app. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, Dr. Jim Keeney joins the show for medical news. Find out what the latest connection is between COVID and cancer and GLP-1s and men's fertility and how you're going to die. That's coming up tomorrow morning after 8 on the next Bill Handel Show.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, on the John Kobylt Show. 877-MOIST-86 for Friday. Moist line, 877-MOIST-86, or use the talkback feature on the iHeart Radio app. Now we're down. We only need 41 subscribers to our YouTube channel to hit 8,000. YouTube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. All right. We were playing 2 clips from KTLA Channel 5 this morning. Jessica Holmes and Eric Spillman were interviewing Nithya Raman. And, you know, they did press Raman because Raman is a preposterous person. First of all, she's illegitimate. She shouldn't be in the runoff. I do not trust and I do not believe. I have zero faith in the election system for all the reasons that we've been talking about the last 2 weeks. I absolutely flat out think it was a phony election. And they stuffed the system with fake homeless ballots in order to get Raman ahead because Pratt was doing a lot of damage to them. But here's the irony. Raman needs Pratt's votes. Raman was at 245,000. Bass was at 291,000. How do you get ahead of Bass without Pratt's votes? So you start saying the same things that Pratt was saying when you're the one who ran the homeless committee. You're the one who had parents in your own district booing you because you told them 10 feet isn't different from 500 feet when it comes to how far homeless people should be away from kids. Well, the homeless people shouldn't be there at all, which is the point she tried to make, except you have funded. If you're in charge of the homeless committee, city council comes up with the budgets and Bass signs off on them or she vetoes them or negotiates. So when it came to homeless money, it was 1 year, $1.3 billion. And the fire department got $800 million. She ought to be grilled on that. Yeah, that a couple of years ago, you had 1.3 billion for homelessness, 800 million for fire. And again, it's all stolen. It's stolen by the nonprofits who then did the ballot harvesting scam to get Raman pushed into the runoff. You see? That's how it works. That's the real world. Don't listen to the political consultants who say, well, you know, actually, it's very traditional that young left-wing people vote at the very last. You know, if I hear that one more time, I'm going to take a hostage. Well, you know, if you don't allow 7 days after Election Day for ballots to show up, that's going to disenfranchise people. It's not really fair. Hey, I got one for you. We all know what Christmas Day is, right? Christmas Day is December 25th. Most of us give our presents on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. Try telling your wife that you want a 7-day grace period for all the holidays, like Mother's Day and
I know.
The anniversary.
No, no, the anniversary.
Yeah, the anniversary, her birthday. It's like, well, you know, that's really not being reasonable with me to have such a hard deadline. That's right. We all know what day those holidays are. And we all get the presents in by those holidays. All right? We know when July 4th is coming. So we make sure if we want to celebrate, we call up our friends and relatives. The barbecue is going to be on July 4th. You're not going to send out the invitations, you know, over the following week. Oh, well, we had a barbecue on July 4th. Sorry you got the invitation on July 8th. Basically, that's what it is. Oh, Election Day is June 2nd, but you don't have to send it in till June 9th. Get out of here. It's not an undue burden. It's not difficult to know the date and then show up by 8 o'clock at night. That's what you have to do. You got a whole year to plan. Show up at 8 on Election Day. And if you don't, don't get to vote. I'm not going to come over you have a system where somebody comes over your house, fakes an X for your signature, and then fills out your ballot. Well, it's so people are disenfranchised. No, it's for fraud. It's for fraud. No voter ID. It's fraud, 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 fraud. Everything about the system is fraud, obviously. This time they went too far and they got snagged. Raman said later on in that interview, this mayor has led us into a fiscal hole that's reduced services for every resident of the city. Yes, you've defunded the police. In fact, guess what? Raman in 2020 was for defunding the police. She even put it on Twitter. She wanted to cut police funding and give it to the homeless. She defunded the police. She defunded the fire department. She's part of all those budgets. She defunded street services. That's why we have the potholes. She defunded sidewalk repair. That's why we have that as well. She defunded everything. Wow, now the mayor's let us into a fiscal hole. You dug the hole for her. What a horrible, horrible woman she is. All right, we come back. We're going to have Rich Frankel on, former special agent in charge with the FBI. And the UFC Freedom 250 fight at the White House. Well, there was a group of, it looks like 23 young men around the country who had hooked up online, and they were going to send explosive drones into the area. And then when people ran screaming, they had snipers ready to murder them. But the FBI cracked the case first. Tell you about it. We come back. Deborah Mark, live, the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
2 men arrested in connection with the alleged plot to attack UFC 250 at the White House Sunday are from Riverside and San Bernardino counties. The two are in custody after appearing in court. The FBI searched both of their homes, found guns and ammo. Court documents allege one of them admitted to helping plan the attack and encouraging others to participate. The news is brought to you by Seller's Advantage. A judge has ruled that a woman from South LA who admitted to suffocating her newborn daughter and 7-year-old daughter was insane at the time. The judge says the woman could spend the rest of her life in a state mental facility for killing the girls in 2017. Prosecutors say the mother claimed God had asked her to sacrifice her children. Officials at the Port of LA say cargo volume in May was up 17% compared to the same time last year. They say in total, the port processed more than 84,000 shipping containers last month. The Port of LA executive director says the strong May performance reflects the resilience of U.S. consumers and the ability of businesses to adapt to a continuously changing environment. While President Trump is saying the Strait of Hormuz will be reopened to maritime traffic, the Iranians say they may charge some sort of fee for ships to pass through. Retired Lieutenant General and former head of the U.S. Army Space and Missile Defense Command, Daniel Karbler, says the definition of a memorandum of understanding means it may not be enforceable.
It's really not binding. A memorandum of understanding in any other kind of forum that you might be in is just kind of an opportunity for people to maybe get together and discuss what their issues are.
The memorandum gives both parties 60 days to discuss Iran's nuclear program and other sticking points that led to the war. And the Grammys are getting a makeover.
The Recording Academy has added 5 new categories for 2027, including awards for Asian pop music, Latin songwriting, traditional pop, R&B collaborations, and traditional folk albums. The Academy is also expanding eligibility for Best New Artist, allowing performers to be considered up to 4 times as the music industry continues to evolve. Heather Brooker, KFI News.
Heading to the 110 next.
Let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy or running a business, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, they're done. You won't see them. Won't hear from them again, maybe until renewal time. Your business, though, runs all year, and so do your gaps and the risk you're taking. I'm telling you about SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex just to buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you. They're licensed in every state for business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like the fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not, plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know actually what needs protecting. Go to supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com, supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Plan weather from KFI, low clouds and fog again for the morning. Then it will be sunny, highs mid 70s to low 80s, metro LA, upper 70s to mid 80s in the valleys, 80s to around 90 and windy in the high desert, low 70s for the beaches, mid to upper 70s inland OC, mid 80s to low 90s and windy in the IE. Right now it's 74 in San Juan Capistrano and 80 in Stanton. It's slow on the 110 in downtown LA.
We're going to start on the southbound side of that 110, and it's loading up from just before the 10, or make that the 101 freeway. Delays continue all the way into South LA, looking much better once you make your way past Manchester Avenue. That northbound side of the 110 loading up from the 105, delays and stretches all the way back to the 5 in Elysian Park. Let's look at the 5 southbound, slowing out of Burbank from just about Olive. Delays continue all the way to the 605. And in Norwalk, 605 northbound loading up at the 105 freeway. And delays continue all the way towards the 60. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Do you ever feel like stress and anxiety are running your life, affecting your reactions, your decisions, even your relationships? You're not alone, and it doesn't have to stay that way. For decades, millions have turned to the best-selling book, Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, for a true understanding of the human mind and why we sometimes think, feel, and act in self-defeating ways. Now you can experience the power of Dianetics for yourself at a live weekend seminar. At a Dianetics seminar, you'll learn exactly how the mind works, gain control over your life, and achieve true happiness. A single weekend can change everything. Register today and take charge of your mental health. Go to Dianetics.org/seminar. That's Dianetics.org/seminar.
Are you like millions of Americans who avoided filing their taxes this year because you're afraid you'll owe the IRS thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars? Well, you don't need to be afraid anymore. Tax Relief Advocates has the solution. We can file your back tax years and may be able to reduce or even eliminate what you owe. With over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, we've helped over 100,000 Americans just like you permanently and painlessly resolve their IRS debt. A resolution specialist is waiting to speak to you now, who will let you know what tax debt reduction you may qualify for. Don't wait. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call our tax relief hotline now to see what you qualify for at 800-511-0719. 800-511-0719. Again, that's 800-511-0719. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Call 844-GO-SMILE to learn about the new Lifestyle Smile dental implants from Lasting Smiles.
This is Jacob Emrani. When you need help after an accident, I'm here for you.
1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Have you tried Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro but still feel stuck? Many patients lose some weight on injections only to plateau while still struggling with obesity, sleep apnea, reflux, diabetes, or joint pain. Plus, monthly medication costs can add up. And many people regain weight after stopping treatment. West Medical's bariatric surgery might just provide the long-term solution you've been looking for. Schedule your free consultation at 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
In this edition of the Marketers Report, Heather Sparks, head of content at Zenith, discusses the power of radio hosts.
I actually think DJs were the original influencers. You invited them into your home. You invited them into your ear. You built a relationship with them. You understood and trusted the things that were interesting to them.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Support teens and young adults battling cancer by attending this year's Rockin' Polo, Saturday, June 20th, benefiting Teen Cancer America. It all happens at Will Rogers Polo Club in the Pacific Palisades. Enjoy delicious food, cocktails, live DJ, silent auction, get dressed up and get ready for the Divot Stomp, and more. Plus, a live acoustic performance by longtime supporters Billy Idol and Steve Stevens. Saturday, June 20th from 12:30 to 5:30. Details and tickets at teencanceramerica.org.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. It's the John Kobylt Show. We're on every day, 3 to 6. And after 6 o'clock, whatever you missed, you listen to the podcast, John Kobylt Show on demand. And we're also live on YouTube, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Now, you've probably heard that Sunday night, there was a terrorist plot at the UFC Freedom 250 fights that they were having at the White House. And it looks like the plan was drones to target buildings in the area to create some kind of panic so people would start streaming out, and then snipers would try to commit some kind of mass execution. Let's see exactly what was going on, because 23 people have been identified in this plot. And let's talk to Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge of the FBI. Rich, welcome. How are you for ABC News?
Yeah, I'm okay. This investigation, it started 3 days before the UFC event. Actually, a mother who saw that her son was acting potentially irrationally, was possibly going to hurt himself or others, reached out to local law enforcement in Ohio and called them and told them about it. They started a preliminary investigation. They identified that there was a chat online that was talking about doing a terrorist act and potentially at the White House. They turned it over to the FBI. FBI brought in the Secret Service and began basically a multi-state investigation into this group that was planning to have drones go over the UFC event, explode, cause mass panic where people would run, and then these individuals from this group would be nearby and would sniper them and kill them as they were running away. They also identified 5 politicians, 3 senators and 2 congresswomen, I believe, that they wanted to kill as part of this whole attack. Luckily, the mother turned this into law enforcement, so they were able to stop it before anything happened.
Is this group, does it seem to be an organized group that has been around a while, or is this a collection of crazy people that found each other online and just recently developed this plot?
The latter. So, it was a group that was on, and I think, I'm not 100%, but I think it was called Stitch. And you could go on there and you find, kind of like-minded individuals in these different chat rooms, and they were radicalizing each other. Basically, they were talking. And it's basically a group of people that are being radicalized, not just to hate a particular group, but to hate everything. They were talking about how they hated Israel and people who supported Israel. They hated anyone connected to Epstein. They hated people who were building, big data centers and using all the water for those big data centers. I mean, it was just across the board, the anti-establishment rhetoric that was going on. And then it became more than that. Then it became that, okay, we got to do something about it. And we have to, commit an act. And then what happened was the group that was more virulent, they went into a group within like a chat room on Signal, and they then kept radicalizing each other and came up with this plan, which I just described. It was 5 individuals, I think, were moving actively, and there's almost like another 18 that were part of this group that were either participating in the planning stage or were going to be part of the actual attack. And it appears it was getting operational, because when they took down at least one of the individuals in Ohio, they found multiple long guns. They found plate carriers, hundreds of rounds of ammunition, spent ammunition, showing that they had been practicing. This was, I don't know if it was where we were on the drone ability, but as far as the ability to get long guns and wanting to commit the act, I think FBI was able to take it down just in time.
And when did they make these arrests? When did they bust up the terror plot?
So the only thing I know is that we heard about it this morning. It was a sealed indictment. So this may have been taken down before the UFC event. or after. But the investigation, I know from what I've read, started 3 days before the UFC event, and it became basically a multi-office, FBI office, multi-agency, and multi-state investigation within hours.
So whatever they did disrupted it enough that they never came close to the White House.
Correct. I understand that the Secret Service did put out a be on the lookout, or they call it a BOLO. They put out a BOLO related to this case. I never saw it. I never saw it ahead of time, but I think it was sent out basically so that if anyone of these individuals was seen in the area of the White House or DC or whatever, that they were going to be taken down at that point. So this was something that they were on from the get-go. I understand even that they never even notified the president about it because they were able to get their hands around it before the event took place.
And they were already out doing practice for the shooting, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's the way it seems from the amount of spent rounds that was at least identified in Ohio. There were other people who were arrested. I believe one in California. The issue with these online groups too, where they are radicalized online, you don't know where these people are. They could be anywhere in the United States, and to be honest, they could be overseas too. So who was around to actually commit acts and who was more just talking about it? I think that's what's going to be coming out. But I do think that the 5 arrests is just the beginning. I do believe that this is an ongoing investigation, and the FBI will probably make future arrests.
And who was financing this? Do we have any idea? What, local money, national political groups, overseas money?
No idea yet, but I do know that the individual who was arrested in Ohio, his parents said that he used the $3,000 from his graduation fund to buy his weapons.
This is just nuts. Well, Rich Frankel, thanks very much for coming on and explaining all this.
You got it. Have a good day.
All right. With ABC News, former special agent in charge with the FBI. And this is wild. I just wonder how long these guys knew each other, even online. It doesn't appear that they knew each other personally, that they met together. They were just all attracted to the same kind of insanity. We'll get into some more details because they had 5 politicians by name that they wanted to take out as well. And again, they wanted to fly drones into buildings there in Washington, D.C. And then as people ran fleeing from the UFC event, they'd start getting gunned down. These crazy people were going to then become snipers and start wiping out the fleeing attendees. That is just nuts. And look how easy it is to do, how easy it is to organize. We'll talk more next. We have Deborah Marcus live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. 2 men from Southern California face charges in connection with that alleged terror plot targeting the UFC event on the White House lawn. And LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath wants all operations at Whiteman Airport in Pacoima to be put on hold. We'll have more at the top of the hour, heading over to the 210 next.
Summer is heating up. Your wallet doesn't have to. This June, American Vision Windows is offering no interest, no payments for 2 years on new windows and doors. You pay nothing until 2028. New windows don't just help you beat the heat. They lock in your comfort year-round. They lower your energy bills, and they give your home a stunning upgrade. Your neighbors are going to notice. American Vision Windows, 100% employee-owned. So every person on your project has a personal stake in getting it right. And after 25 years and over 1 million windows, that accountability has made them the most trusted name in window replacement. Most jobs done in a day. Beautiful new windows by evening. 0 payments until 2028. 2028 probably is not even going to come. Offer ends on June 30th. New customers only. Some restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. AmericanVisionWindows.com. Call 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow, high 70s to the 90s. This report brought to you by Hard Rock Casino Tejon. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. It's slow on the 210 in Arcadia. The
This is the westbound side, and that's where the drive becomes crowded right around Santa Anita Avenue as you continue ahead towards the 134, and eastbound slowing for the 210, loading up out of Pasadena from just about the 134 freeway. Delays continue all the way to Foothill Boulevard, more slowing ahead in Upland from about Baseline all the way to the 15. Looking tough in the Cajon Pass on the 15 northbound, leaving Glen Helen Parkway all the way to the 138. And it's tough in Corona. This is the 91 eastbound. Delays here are loading up at Lincoln, and you're on the brakes all the way into Riverside, finally opening up once you make your way past Adams. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
A family office is a team built to handle the three biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Escape the city at the all-new Hard Rock Casino Tejon, just an easy drive from downtown LA. Play your favorites across over 2,000 slot machines, plus baccarat, blackjack, roulette, and craps. Enjoy live entertainment and exceptional dining. Must be 21 or older. Concerned about your gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The great part about being a dad is the ability to fall asleep in my chaise lounge in Oasis. And now the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo. Number 5.
Flamingo Fridays at Oasis Pool. The hottest beats, live DJ, and the coolest drinks in SoCal. If you know, you know.
Number 4.
Soccer watch party at Sideline. Saturday the 20th. Big screens, lots of food, Adidas giveaway, and Av Alta players. Go!
3.
Poolside playback. Catch tribute band Classic Journey the 25th. Free for Morongo Rewards members.
And the number 2.
A free bucket cap for dad. Pick it up with your rewards card starting at 8 a.m. the 21st. Then head over to Father's Day Bingo to win a share of over $25,000.
And the number 1 reason.
Win dad a Corvette Stingray in our Star Stripes and Sizzle giveaway. Be there the 28th for 3 chances to win.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times.
Look at all the complaints that our competitors have on their BBB ratings. GimmeTheVin.com is a 5-star rated company. We do what we say we're going to do. It's that easy.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Years of early mornings, every weekend, every holiday, all for one dream: to play on the LPGA Tour. She finally turned pro. Now, she just needs a stage worthy of her talent. Next Golf is that stage, a professional women's tour in Florida built to give these athletes the runway they've earned. Support her journey at nextgolf.com/support. That's nxxtgolf.com. Play it forward.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
Check out AMCO's multiple financing options so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow.
AA MCO.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Termites are one of those things we tend to put off. E. coli is here to protect your most expensive investment, your home, your family, and the environment. You might have heard of Sue Fries, the termite lady. She's the owner of E. coli Termite and Pest Control. Now, they've been protecting Southern California homes for more than 40 years. So if you have a termite problem, that's who you want in your corner. E. coli offers eco-friendly treatments that are tough on termites, but gentle on kids, pets, and anyone who's sensitive to chemicals. And if you're not planning on selling your house, they'll come out and inspect your home for free. And with all the heat we've had over this last month here in Southern California, it's perfect breeding grounds for termites. E. coli has been recognized as one of the top pest control companies in North America by Pest Control Technology magazine. So if you suspect a termite problem, you must act fast. So call E. coli at 1-800-332-BUGS. 1-800-332-2847. 1-800-332-BUGS.
48 countries.
Only one winner.
iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Live. Go! Every unforgettable moment wherever you are. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeartRadio app.
The world is listening. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
The big one could be closer than we think.
Some really smart people said the San Andreas fault hasn't been this stressed in 1,000 years.
And now you should be too.
That's tomorrow starting at noon. Monks and Merrill on air and on the iHeartRadio app.
Can't find AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're live on YouTube. You can subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Now we just need 28 subscribers to hit 8,000. 28 to go. Well, yeah, you just heard in that promo, I wanted to talk to Deborah about this situation.
Yeah, I'm
here.
not happy about that situation.
The San Andreas fault and the San Jacinto fault have reached their highest stress levels in 1,000 years.
Yeah, I know. That means that we're probably going to have, we knew this. We're due for a big one.
Your stress level is at the highest in 1,000 years.
Yeah,
just make sure it happens on the air with us.
Yeah, I know. Is there a way to time this? The stress that's normally released in large earthquakes has kept building because there's been 160 years since the last major rupture. And I guess that didn't relieve all the stress because now we're at 1,000-year mark. Stress levels on multiple fault segments are at or above the highest seen in the past millennium. And both faults may rupture, I guess, one after the other.
Maybe at the same time.
Maybe at the same time. What's that going to?
We're gone. Bye-bye.
That's why
it's over.
That's why I said I don't think 2028 is going to happen anyway.
I was wondering why you said that.
No, this is why. The Cajon Pass, which would be where Route 15 is, Interstate 15, may act as an earthquake gate. I've never heard of this concept, which can block large earthquakes from striking the San Andreas and the San Jacinto faults at the same time. However, and I love when they do this, it also could facilitate a joint rupture where they both blow simultaneously.
Yeah. I
always like those forecasts. Well, it could be, one blocks the other, or they both could go. It's like when they do El Nino forecasts. Well, we could have one of the worst El Nino rain seasons ever, or it could end up very dry. Well, thank you. That's the world could end, or it might not end. Now, and here's a brilliant line. If both fault lines quaked at the same time, there would be significantly more damage.
Really?
Yes.
I would have never guessed that. Would you?
No, but we don't have a degree in geologic studies.
No, we don't.
The lead author of the study is Lillian Burkhardt. This is published in the Journal of Geophysical Research. And she said that the conditions that determine whether the earthquake gate at the Cajon Pass, I've never seen that. I've driven up and down that many times. I don't know where that is related to how closely the stress levels are aligned with each other. They looked at 1,000 years of earthquake history, fed it into a computer model, and this is what they came up with. That it's not a prediction. But if something's at the highest level in 1,000 years, seems like it's got to go soon, right?
You know, I'm really hoping not. I'm hoping that, I know I've said this before, and I know this is going to sound so ignorant and stupid, and I get it. It's just wishful thinking that somebody has not come up with a plan or an idea of how to prevent earthquakes from happening.
You do know how earthquakes work.
I understand, but I'm just saying, I wish that there was some kind of shot that you can put in those planes. Yes, a shot of something.
A vaccine.
Yes. To prevent those tectonic plates from shifting.
A shot of something. You inject it. Oh, like to fill the fault line.
Yes.
Guess, huh?
I don't know, because I'm
like
not a geologist, but something.
No, really?
I know. Another surprise.
You've really disappointed a lot of people.
I am so sorry.
Like some kind of caulking you're talking about, maybe.
Yes, but again, I'm not a geologist. Something.
Yeah, no,
just something.
You've already made that clear. It's
just something.
You didn't have to say that. All right.
You want me to say it one more time?
No, yeah, if you want to, baby. 5 o'clock, Deborah's going to do the news. And remember, she does not have a geology degree.
No.
And we are going to have on Jennifer Van Laar, right? Yes, Jennifer Van Laar, to talk about all the investigations going on into the grifters, Jennifer and Gavin, and the history of their financial deviance. That's coming up next. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Terror plot prevented. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Unsealed court documents show the alleged plot to attack the UFC event at the White House involved using drones equipped with explosives, and everything was organized on a signal chat. Former FBI profiler Brad Garrett says it's unclear where the people involved were in the planning stages.
Did they ever find any drones? Were they ever built? So, it's hard to assess. Clearly, these people need to be charged based on the facts as we know them.
5 people have been arrested in connection with the alleged plot, including 2 from the IE. LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath wants all operations at Whiteman Airport in Pacoima to be put on hold until there's an investigation after another accident at the airport. LA Fire Department Captain Brandon Silverman says the pilot has minor injuries after his Cessna crashed through a fence this morning.
Fortunately for him, due to the extent of the damage that I saw to the airplane, the fact that he only had minor injuries was very lucky.
Officials at the airport say the plane's landing gear did not work, which is why the plane skidded through a fence into a parking lot. An investigation into the B-52 bomber crash at Edwards Air Force Base is underway. ABC's Luis Martinez says investigators are looking into what exactly caused that plane to go down yesterday.
There was a mix of government civilians and government contractors. Boeing identified that 2 of their employees were killed in this crash. We don't know many more details.
A total of 8 people were on that B-52 when it crashed. A former Whittier businessman has been charged with arranging the execution-style killings of 2 legal adversaries.
Prosecutors say 73-year-old welded fixtures owner Richard Wall Sr. hired someone to shoot an attorney who'd won a settlement against a close friend and hired someone to shoot an ex-employee who'd won an unpaid overtime suit against him. DA Nathan Hochman said when Wall lost lawsuits, instead of appealing the verdicts, he allegedly decided to kill those who opposed him in court. He's also being investigated for a 3rd killing. Authorities say Wall fled to Montenegro and was living there when he was extradited. He's scheduled to be arraigned July 1st and faces life in prison. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
Iran's top diplomat says the tentative deal to end the war with the U.S. would require Israel to withdraw from Lebanon, a condition Israel has already rejected, and that could sink the agreement. And the Iranian soccer team says it's having travel issues that are unnecessary.
Iranian players and coaches say World Cup travel restrictions are putting them at a competitive disadvantage, forcing the team to fly in just before matches and leave immediately afterward. Following a 2-2 draw with New Zealand in Inglewood, players criticized the schedule and visa issues, saying FIFA needs to do more to support the team during the tournament. Heather Brooker, KFI News.
Going to the 405 next.
Lasting smiles, dental implants. You need those if your teeth are all rotted and decayed. And you can transform your smile with the Lasting Smiles Summer Smile Special. You have rotted, decayed, missing teeth. People don't want to look at that. It's very offensive. So look at dental implants. At Lasting Smiles, you get a free comprehensive dental exam, full 3D imaging, a custom treatment plan. The payments are as low as $149 a month on approved credit. You can swing that, $149 a month, and you got a brand new smile. You'll look much more attractive. Mention KFI or John, and you'll get the Summer Smile Special Package. 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE. LastingSmiles.com. 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog again in the morning, then sunny. Highs mid-70s, low 80s Metro LA, upper 70s to mid-80s in the valleys, 80s to around 90 and windy in the high desert. Low 70s for the beaches, mid to upper 70s inland OC, mid-80s to low 90s and windy in the IE. Right now it's 71 in Dana Point, 78 in Anaheim, 82 in Diamond Bar. It's 77 in Simi Valley. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supersure, supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 329. S&P 500 down 43 and NASDAQ down 308. Stall on the 405 and the Sepulveda Pass.
So this one is along the northbound side. Coming up on Skirball Center, middle lane has been blocked. It's a stuffed truck, and you've got a slow drive overall out of Culver City, leaving the 90. Buena Park, 91 westbound, approaching Valley View. A crash is now off to the shoulder. Lanes are open, but traffic is loading up away from Magnolia Avenue. And in Riverside, there's an oil spill. Big rig let some go in lanes on that 91 eastbound coming up on Adams, and middle lanes affected. The drive is a mess getting away from Lincoln. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
I'm Duncan Newman.
And I'm Maria Newman. When you choose Newman, you get more than new windows. You get our 7-point promise. It's the peace of mind you deserve when replacing your home's windows.
Receive an exact arrival time, a fully protected home from start to finish, and so much more.
Right now, buy 2 Milgard vinyl windows and get 1 Milgard window free, plus our lifetime installation guarantee. At Newman, we finish it right, period. No excuses.
Ask about our fire recovery program, 8777-NEWMAN or NewmanWindows.com.
Restrictions apply. License number 570472. Offer ends June 30th, 2026. Are you avoiding shorts or dresses because of your varicose veins? You find yourself covering up, feeling self-conscious about how your legs look? Don't wait another minute. West Medical can treat varicose veins in under an hour with no downtime. That's right. One simple call and a quick procedure can help you feel confident again. Most treatments are affordable and covered by PPO insurance. Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL today. That's 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL. Go to westmedical.com.
I feel incredible because I called 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena, streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
And you can be there
For a weekend full of superstar performances.
Are you ready?
Once-in-a-lifetime moments you'll have to see to believe.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Only limited single-night tickets remain. Get yours while you still can now at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Now, your chance to win $2,500. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. America. That's America. Enter it now.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeartRadio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show. We're on every day, 3 until 6. After 6, John Kobylt Show on demand. You can follow us at John Kobylt Radio on social media, at John Kobylt Radio, and subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show, youtube.com/John Kobylt Show. And we're down. We need 21 subscribers now for 8,000. 21. So be one of the 21 people to join, and our family grows to 8,000. No prize for you, just the pride you'll feel. Jennifer Van Laar is coming on. Jennifer Van Laar is managing editor of redstate.com, great reporter. And she has dug up a lot of information over the years about Jennifer and Gavin Newsom. Now there's an investigation going on. Newsom is pretending it's Trump coming after him. But as multiple reports have indicated, it looks like this originated in the Sacramento Department of Justice. It may be going after Jennifer's taxes. It's maybe going after Dana Williamson, the former chief of staff to Newsom, who's already going to prison for her involvement in the theft of money from Javier Bacaria's campaign. campaign fund. But one thing Jennifer has discovered, and she's published this for quite a while, is the amount of money the Newsoms spend on their life exceeds significantly the amount of income that they report. Jennifer, welcome. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm really good. You do terrific work.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing it. Why don't you explain to people who are not familiar with all the details, what have you found about the Newsoms' finances over the years, right up to the moment?
Yes. So what really called this into question was when they purchased a $9.1 million mansion in Marin County in late 2024. And that was done through an LLC formed by Jennifer Newsom. And what was especially curious about it was that this corporation was not formed until about a week after the home closed escrow. So they received the grant deed in the name of this LLC and held off on recording it until the LLC could actually be formed. And there was no mortgage taken out on this. It was so apparently a cash transaction. But 3 months later, the LLC took out a $6.5 million mortgage at 6.75% interest. And as members of the LLC, Jennifer Newsom and both of her parents had to personally guarantee it, like no Gavin on any of this documentation. That mortgage payment alone, without any property taxes or insurance or anything, is around $42,000 a month. And that's on top of a $13,000 a month mortgage they already have in Sacramento. So they're looking at over $500,000 a year just in mortgage payments, and their average income for the decade preceding that was $1.4 million.
So there's a significant shortfall there, and it's also really curious that who paid in cash through that LLC? Who put down the $9 million, and then they get $6.5 million back in a mortgage, huh?
Yeah, so from what I can tell, when they had sold their other home in Marin County that they had before Gavin was elected governor, they cleared about $2.8 million. So I'm assuming, because they don't give us the records to know for sure, that was used as some kind of a down payment on this house, because the numbers roughly line up. But still, what kind of seller gives you the deed 3 months before you have the mortgage?
But did they have to put $9 million down in cash just to get the deed, and then they took a mortgage out?
Right. I don't know. And they bought it from Daniel Pritzker, who's part of the Pritzker Hyatt Hotel, J.D. Pritzker family, who's also a big Democrat donor. So that also makes it look more questionable. It could be that there's not a lot there. But again, if the governor would just open up his books and produce his tax returns like he said he was going to every year, and he hasn't, then we wouldn't have to wonder.
Yeah. I mean, you go through all his expenses. He's got to pay $450,000 in federal and state taxes, $200,000 to domestic workers. That's a big staff that they have, huh?
Yeah, so that's based on about 10 years of tax returns from 2010 to 2020. We have the full returns for 2017, 18, 19, 20, because he had to produce those to run in the recall in 2021. And that's the average of what they were paying household staffers during that time. And that's the total state, local, federal taxes that they were paying. And then you add, we know that their kids are in private school. We know that their older two are in a school currently that's $70,000 a year for high school.
70 for high school? 70,000?
Yeah.
Yikes. I thought I was getting hosed.
The lunches and the field trips.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's, well, there's, I mean, it totals, it seems like 1.6 million out the door and 1.4 million coming in, and this is every year. And that doesn't.
Yeah, and that's without food, that's without vacations, that's without all of the little things that add up.
So have you heard anything separately, differently about what these investigations might be about?
I have not. I mean, there's such an abundance of things that they can choose to be looking into with those two. But the fact that we've heard from multiple sources that it has to do with taxes and it has to do with Jennifer Newsom's corporations is not surprising.
And Dana Williamson, the chief of staff, is being investigated supposedly as well, former chief of staff, but she's already going to prison for the Javier Becerra theft of Becerra's campaign funds.
Yeah, so she's going to be sentenced July 9th. She hasn't been sentenced yet. And the one condition of her plea deal is that the prosecutors will recommend leveling down on the guidelines for the time in prison if she is fully open and honest with the probation officers who will prepare that sentencing report. So it could be that some of this is coming about because of questions that they're asking Williamson as she's getting ready to go to prison, and Williamson feeling like, okay, well, I don't want to be the one to go down for all of this, and not have other people also pay the piper.
And then you have all those corporate payments that Newsom directs to various nonprofits, some of which his wife's involved in, like from PG&E. They finance her feminist films. I mean, there's just a lot of money sloshing around.
Yeah, if you look between her own nonprofit, the Representation Project, if you look at the California Partners Project, and just the various entities that they're involved in, there is a lot of money sloshing around. Then you have the behested payments, which Newsom just got fined for not reporting some of these behested payments in a timely manner.
Right. And as far as you've heard, this investigation predates Trump's second term?
That is what I've heard, and that it originated in Sacramento by whistleblowers there, and then the Eastern District, California. Yes.
Whistleblowers over something to do with Jennifer Newsom's taxes. That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's where it's also a little curious, because they file jointly. So if it has to do with her taxes, it has to do with his.
Okay, right. Okay. I mean, I thought maybe she had her own tax filing. But if they're filing jointly, then that's kind of odd that's being phrased that way, because he's responsible, even if she initiated.
Yeah, he still has to sign it.
Yeah. All right. And there's no word on. I mean, this investigation can go on forever, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to lead to anything concrete.
Right. It seems that he's trying to really get ahead of something by coming out. Not many targets of an investigation go on and just come out and say it. So it seems that he's trying to get ahead of something by coming out with this.
Well, getting ahead of it doesn't change whether doesn't change that he's being investigated.
Well, but if he can make it be Trump's bad, then maybe he thinks that that's going to be what can save him.
That is really absurd. All right. Well, listen, thank you very much, Jennifer. And if you find out new stuff, let us know. We'll have you on anytime.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Jennifer Van Laar, managing editor, redstate.com. It's very possible after this run of leaks that we've had in the last 24 hours that the story will go quiet. When we come back, I want to talk about. I had it. I'm losing my paperwork a lot today, and I am like really irritated with myself. So I'll just tell you that I have good stuff coming up, and if I don't, then here it is. Do you know that the state of California under Gavin Newsom has mandated that utilities award hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts to gay businesses? Now, how does a business prove it's gay? They actually have to. The principals in the business have to prove they're gay. And if they're caught defrauding the system and they're not really gay, they could go to jail. I'm not making this up. You have to have a gay certified business. And it doesn't mean that you're selling to gay people or providing services to gay people. It means you are gay and you run a business. And then you get contracts from Gavin Newsom's government. Not making this up. Christopher Rufo has it in the City Journal. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. 2 men arrested in connection with the alleged plot to attack UFC 250 at the White House are from Riverside and San Bernardino counties. Stress along the San Andreas and San Jacinto faults are reaching high levels, the highest levels in 1,000 years. We're going to have more at the bottom of the hour, going to the 60 next.
GiveMeTheVin.com gives you the most money for your used car, period. That's it. Or if you're inherited a home, the whole thing can be overwhelming. You got repairs, you got the time it takes to get everything ready to sell, and it can be more trouble than it's worth. And that's where seller's advantage comes in. Here's a real customer. He inherited a home, and he said it would have taken us a lot of time and money and headaches to get the property in shape. And I heard about seller's advantage from radio commercials, decided to try. Their offer was reasonable. We accepted it, and they took care of all the physical effort and the legal complexities. We closed within 3 weeks. I'd highly recommend them. Whatever your reason for selling, call Seller's Advantage, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-2747, or go to sellersadvantage.com for a free no-obligation cash offer. Now you can say.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 0196165A, Providence Realty DRE number 019152212.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center, Odoo, the only business software you need. Sunny tomorrow, 70s to the mid-90s. This report brought to you by iHeartAdvertising.com. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 60 in Montebello.
This one's on the eastbound side before Findlay. Middle Lane is where it landed. They're trying to get everything cleared to the shoulder, but delays are loading up out of East LA from Downey Road. In Vernon, on 710 southbound past Atlantic, they've pushed a crash out of lanes here. It's off to the shoulder now, and delays are still backing up away from Cesar Chavez. Let's also check out the drive in Anaheim Hills. A wreck on the toll road 241 northbound right at the 91 freeway. Everyone's off to the shoulder, but traffic's pretty messy away from the Windy Ridge Toll Plaza. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. Learn how podcasting can help your business at iHeartAdvertising.com.
This report is sponsored by Wild Rivers in Irvine. Wild Rivers is now open daily with over 25 slides and attractions for thrill seekers and lazy river chillers. Visit wildrivers.com for great values on season passes and daily tickets. That's wildrivers.com. Wild Rivers, where there's sun and fun for everyone.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Clean out your closet, donate your clothes, and earn rewards with Trashy. Send your clothes somewhere better and get cash back on every bag. Get unlimited take-back bags all year for just $48. Trashy. Clean out, donate, earn.
Just Food for Dogs, the #1 vet-recommended fresh dog food. Made right here in LA.
If you run a business, you know how hard it is to get your customers' attention. Yet 85% of consumers say radio is the last thing they hear before shopping. Let iHeartRadio help you reach your next customer today at iHeartAdvertising.com.
Habas Law is a big team of California lawyers,
and every one of them is skilled at forcing cold-hearted corporations
and insensitive insurance companies
to do the right thing.
And the right thing for them to do
is take complete responsibility for what happened to you.
They should do the right thing.
Because it's the right thing to do.
We've been making companies do the right thing for 40 years.
I'm Omar Habas.
And I'm Nicholas Habas.
When you've been injured, call Habas Law immediately.
We know all the tricks that the insurance company will try to pull.
Whatever you do, don't sign anything until we tell you to.
The law is on your side.
But the law can't help you if you don't have a lawyer.
We want to be your lawyers.
I'm Omar Habas.
And I'm Nicholas Habas.
We protect people from insurance companies who care more about their own bank accounts than they care about you.
Call Habas Law at 1-800-INJURED.
Your day is about to get a whole lot better.
HABBASLaw.com.
Omar Habas and Nicholas Habas are California licensed attorneys with an office in Los Angeles. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes.
The biggest FIFA World Cup ever has started.
The most goals the United States have ever scored in a World Cup game.
The only place to hear the action for free is iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026
live. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeartRadio app.
Just search World Cup.
Don't miss Team USA's next match Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern against Australia.
The world is listening. Are you?
iHeartRadio FIFA World Cup update.
Argentina will begin their title defense as they open up group play against Algeria tonight. There hasn't been a repeat champ at the World Cup since Brazil won back-to-back in 1958 and 1962. French star Kylian Mbappe scores twice to lead France to the 3-1 win over Senegal.
That's another one!
Mbappe is now France's all-time leading goal scorer.
For live Fox coverage, search World Cup now on the free iHeartRadio app. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
Great news if you listen to all 3 hours of the Gary and Shannon show. Yawning may be good for your brain.
That was hurtful. Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow at 9.
Can't find AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show on from 3 to 6. Moist line 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86. Use the talkback feature in the iHeartRadio app. And we're live on YouTube, youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. If you don't want to subscribe or become a member. All right, I'm not making this up. Gavin Newsom and the California government has a gay certification program for businesses. Under this program, they have told the California Public Utilities Commission that they have to enforce this provision, which requires utility companies to hire gay contractors. California Utilities spent more than $43 billion on contractors, fuel suppliers, surveyors, engineers, and others. Okay? Now, they deliver all the water, gas, and electricity and internet service to all of us. All right? And in 2014, they always had affirmative action style bills that required companies to offer a certain number of minority-owned businesses contracts. Well, Jerry Brown, back in 2014, signed legislation requiring that gay-owned businesses, by the way, I cannot deal with all the letters, so you're not going to hear me going LGBTQAI+, all right? I call them all gay. If you don't like it, I know what to tell you. Gay-owned businesses also should be eligible for these benefits. And Newsom expanded the program, encouraging other companies in the energy sector to award contracts to gay-owned themes. So now the activists got involved to try to force the issue. They wanted gay-owned companies to be getting it's up to $633 million in contracts. Who knew? Now, it says here that these gay activists told the commission that homophobia existed in the ranks of utility companies. So the California Public Utilities Commission fully implemented the expansion. They had a goal for utility companies that made a certain amount of money that they had to provide contracts to gay businesses. Now, how does a business qualify as officially gay? Well, you fill out a lot of paperwork. There's a list of qualifications online. If you have a gay business, you have to get certification. So you provide a letter from a gay organization attesting to your sexual preferences. Or you could have proof that a newspaper identified you as gay. Or you have to supply 3 letters from personal contacts on company letterhead that said, yeah, he's gay. I guess the CEO would do that. It's like, yeah, I slept with him. Yeah. Yeah. And get this. Corporate officials who falsely represent themselves as gay face up to a year in county jail. You go to jail if you pretend to be gay and they catch you. If you try to fake it. If you call up your friends and say, hey, would you write a letter and testify that I'm gay? Why would I do that? Well, I can get this big government contract. Oh, okay. Marianne Horton went through this. Marianne Horton is an internet pioneer, helped develop the email attachment. He started out as a white man who transitioned. So now he's a female married to a woman. He's got a company she has a company called Red Ace, which is registered as a woman and gay-owned business. So Horton told the City Journal that to prove you're gay requires a mess of documentation. He had to supply a birth certificate and also had to supply a new birth certificate, which was reissued in the state of Washington to prove he transitioned. To prove that he's transgender, he had to file a therapist carry letter, a document from a medical professional certifying transgender identity. This is how you get a government contract. Because he wanted to apply as being, her company was lesbian owned. And a company official said that being on the diversity list made getting the contract much easier. If I was a straight white male, which Horton used to be, I might be concerned that I don't have the same opportunity, but it worked out great for me. So he transitioned and married a woman and was able to easily get a contract with San Diego Electric and Gas. San Diego apparently created a training video on supplier diversity. However, if Horton's faking this whole story, she's going to jail. This place is insane. I mean, it's from border to border. This is a mental institution, an absolute mental institution. All you want is the service done, to bring in the electricity and the water and the gas, and you want it done at the fairest price. What would it matter that this guy transitioned to be a woman and married another woman and then fills out a bunch of paperwork to... Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
A man from Riverside County and another from San Bernardino County are among 5 people across the U.S. charged with plotting an attack during Sunday's UFC event at the White House. Federal prosecutors allege the 5 colluded in online chats to use drones laden with explosives. The U.S. Justice Department says that they joined an online chat group called Vanguard of the Old Republic, which is accessible on TikTok and Signal. Experts say the San Andreas and San Jacinto faults are at their highest stress levels in 1,000 years.
That's according to a new study from researchers at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. It says the fault lines have reached unprecedented levels. The stress is usually released periodically in major earthquakes, but has continued to build in the last 160 years since the last major rupture on the faults. The study's lead author, Lillian Burkhardt, says the fault system is currently in a critically loaded state. It also suggests the Cajon Pass can sometimes block large earthquakes from striking along the San Andreas Fault and San Jacinto Fault Zone at the same time. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
Republican candidate for governor Steve Hilton says the $355 billion state budget, which lawmakers passed just before last night's deadline, is more of the same in the wrong direction.
More spending, more borrowing billions. I've been going through it. Running deficits, draining the reserves, and worst of all, when we have the highest cost of living in the country, more and higher taxes.
The budget is about $6 billion higher than what Governor Newsom proposed in May. It's expected to be the largest in state history. The legislature and Newsom have 2 weeks to finalize and sign off on the spending plan. In Delaware, officials have had to lock down a hospital because of a shooting between employees. At least 2 people have been hurt. Ryan Pfeffer, who works as a patient guide at the hospital in Wilmington, says it was something that should not have happened.
Somebody needs to do something. This is unacceptable. Schools and hospitals should be off limits to anybody.
Authorities are still looking for the shooter. Vice President Vance is walking back a controversial comment.
In a new memoir, Vice President J.D. Vance calls his 2021 childless cat lady's remark boneheaded and one of the dumbest things he's ever said, admitting it was provocative and distracted from the point he was trying to make. Vance writes that the comment failed to show compassion towards Americans who don't have children and says it was a moment where he got it wrong. Vance's new book called Communion comes out today and is a follow-up to his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. Heather Brooker, KFI News.
Going to the 605 next.
GiveMeTheVin.com gives you the most money for your used car, period. That's simple. Don't believe me? There's thousands of reviews online. That's what they do. GiveMeTheVin.com will buy your car $2,000 to $200,000. You'll get the most money, the best experience. You go to the website, put in your VIN number, license plate number. They offer a 60-second bid process, pressure-free service. Click on GiveMeTheVin.com and get your check on the spot.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southline weather from KFI, low clouds and fog again tomorrow morning, then sunny, highs mid-70s to low 80s. Metro LA, upper 70s to mid-80s in the valleys, 80s to around 90 and windy in the high desert. Low 70s at the beaches, mid to upper 70s inland OC, mid-80s to low 90s and windy in the IE. Right now, 77 in Laguna Woods and it's 79 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Slow on the 605 in Los Alamitos.
This is a long haul on that northbound side. You're on the brakes leaving the 405 freeway and stretches all the way to the 10. Out to Pomona with a wreck on the 10 eastbound at Town Avenue. Middle lane is blocked with a slow drive away from Holt Avenue. And that oil spill in Riverside still wreaking havoc on that 91 eastbound. Coming up on Adams, middle lane is blocked. Delays away from just about... Well, the eastbound side is slowing down from Surface Club. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
The Loan Exchange is proud to introduce the Free Closer, a jumbo 30-year fixed loan up to $3 million. With no closing costs, you could save around $40,000 in fees like points and appraisals that many lenders charge on a $2 million loan. Today's 30-year Free Closer rate is 5.875% rate and APR. That makes refinancing simple. The only question is whether it lowers your payment without increasing your balance. And if rates drop again, you can do it again and save even more. Today's 30-year Free Closer rate is 5.875% rate and APR. If your mortgage rate is over 6%, it's a total no-brainer. Why pay to close a loan when you can exchange it for free at theloanexchange.com? NMLS 1637539. Loan subject to credit approval. See website for licensing information, loan terms and conditions. Equal housing lender. That's theloanexchange.com. Theloanexchange.com to exchange higher payments for lower ones.
Car keeps going back to the dealership for the same problem? You may qualify for a refund or replacement under California Lemon Law. Visit lemonwins.com to see if your car qualifies. That's lemonwins.com.
Would you take 15 seconds to say 15% to freshen your breath? That's going on right now at Zellman's. Go to Zellman's.com and use the code SAVE. The benefits: confidence, no lingering food breath, convenience, freshness after meals or social situations, no garlic hangover. So how about the negatives? Actually, I can't think of any. Zellmans.com, that's Zellmins.com. Use the code SAVE for fresh, clean breath for hours.
Hi, this is Dave Roberts. Heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, that's a risk. That's why everyone needs a medical emergency kit at urgentcarekit.com/blue.
Experience, reputation, and trust matter. If you've been injured, OPOlaw.com.
This June, pay nothing until 2028 with American Vision Windows. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com.
Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST Medical.
All right, let me tell you something. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until renewal. Well, your business runs all year round, and so do the gaps and the risks. That's why I'm introducing SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, HR manager, it can be really complex just to buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like Find Print Facts, which actually translates your current policy into plain English so you know what's covered and what's not. Plus, they have a business value calculator, so you can get an idea of what your business is worth, so you actually know what you need to protect it. Go to supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Before your child goes to a friend's house, there are a few things you probably ask.
Will there be an adult home? Do you have any pets?
These conversations feel normal.
And one more thing. Do you have any unlocked guns in the home?
That conversation should feel normal too. Gun injuries are the leading cause of death for children and teens in the U.S. We can all agree that shouldn't be the case. Let's agree to agree. Talk to other parents. Talk to your child. Just talk about gun safety. Learn more at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
KFI. More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We're on from 3 to 6. Podcast will be released shortly after 6 o'clock. John Kobylt Show on demand. We're live on YouTube, and now we only need 10 subscribers to hit 8,000. 10! You go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Subscribe or become a member. What did we start out? We were 80 short?
84.
84 short. We got 74 new family members. Now we're down to 10. So be one of the 10, and then it's 8,000. You see? Nothing else to it. There's no prize. There'll be no party. All right. Karen Bass has, among all the things she's ruined, Karen Bass, this is true, Los Angeles Times story, has ruined the LA Zoo. Animals are suffering. Animals are dying. A Los Angeles County civil grand jury says the LA Zoo cannot keep operating this way. The facility has deteriorated so much. Membership of humans at the zoo is way down. It's the last zoo governed by a city department, and the city is Los Angeles, and the mayor is Karen Bass, and like everything else, she has completely screwed this up. And now we have suffering animals, just like the suffering dogs getting abused on Skid Row. You look aghast.
Well, yeah. What are these animals suffering from?
Well, they had to transfer, a little while back, 2 elephants,
Oh, yeah.
Billy and Tina,
And that was this whole secret thing.
to the Tulsa Zoo. They have a history of deaths and health challenges. And exhibits for bears, lions, sea lions, and pelicans have closed because they need major renovations. They have 1,600 animals, but the whole place is apparently dilapidated. I haven't gone in years. It's barely maintaining its national accreditation. Regulators came in from the federal government, found peeling paint and rust. Basically, Bass has abandoned the zoo. And they have $1 million budget shortfall. Gee, I bet you the money went to the homeless. Not even homeless animals. And this is, again, a grand jury. They said the zoo would continue struggling to manage the zoo. Membership has dropped from almost 37,000 just last April to 28,000. It's dropped almost a quarter in less than a year. A spokeshole for Bass, their only response was, well, we're reviewing their recommendations, including the proposal to leverage public-private partnerships. And we look forward to exploring these options. You can't even leave your pets with Karen Bass. Have you ever seen somebody who is so bad in so many different ways? There's 1,600 animals suffering because of this lady. Mayor Bass thanks the volunteer members of the LA County Civil Grand Jury for their interest in the success of the LA Zoo and their recognition of the zoo's leadership in animal care and conservation. That's what they wrote. That was in Bass's official response. They were recognizing that the management of the zoo is completely incompetent and overwhelmed and underfunded. They used to have a relationship with the Greater Los Angeles Zoo Association, GLAZA. I went to one of their fundraisers once, and there was a $50 million endowment, but now it's all tied up in some legal dispute that is not explained here. So apparently the relationship with GLAZA, according to the civil jury, is now in ruins because of this lawsuit. There is no other city that runs its own zoo. They do it maybe with a partnership, but the grand jury says managing it, you have to navigate a bureaucratic jungle that includes the zoo commission, neighborhood councils, the city attorney, the city controller, and other departments. The mayor, the city council, collectively, they have an IQ of about 106, all those people. And they can't run anything. They actually can't run anything. They can't run the streets department. That's why the roads are busted up and unpaved. They can't run the department that fixes the sidewalks. They can't run the department that provides streetlights. They obviously can't run the homeless department. That's just filled with thieves. They've severely underfunded the police and the fire. They clearly can't pick up the garbage. You see garbage blowing all over the place. And they can't run the zoo. The zoo used to be run very well. I went there so many times when my boys were young. How could they be so bad at running? Well, because they're busy just stealing money. All day long, that whole crowd is stealing money. That's very sad. That's really upsetting. Boy, Bass is like really anti-animal, isn't she? Between that and all the dogs that are getting abused on Skid Row, the dogs being used for drug experiments, the dogs that are being raped, left for dead. Bass hasn't done anything about that either. And the ones in the zoo are in distress. You could hear them, No. Drive down the freeway and you could hear all the moaning coming from the zoo.
No, don't.
I'll cheer you up.
What?
We reached 8,000 subscribers.
Well, look at that. All right. Well, welcome. Welcome to all of you. And you could watch this on YouTube. And that's it. Just, realized we were close. So we put out, we did like one of those, we should do fundraisers like the.
It's a call to action.
Yeah, it's call to action and you acted. And now you're on the list. Now you're a member. Congratulations. All right. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here's the latest. A man from Riverside County and another from San Bernardino County are among 5 people across the U.S. charged with plotting an attack during Sunday's UFC event at the White House. The LA County Board of Supervisors has unanimously approved a proposal to streamline homelessness prevention services. We'll have more at the top of the hour, heading over to the 405 next.
Lasting Smiles Dental Implants. Summer is here. There's never been a better time to transform your smile. You can't spend all summer with rotting, decayed, disgusting teeth. Nobody wants to look at that. You're going to ruin the 4th of July picnic. Everyone's going to say, look at their mouth. So if you got these rotted teeth, get dental implants. At Lasting Smiles, you'll get decades of experience, cutting-edge digital technology, and a team dedicated to restoring your smile so you feel confident and attractive. Right now, you'll get a free comprehensive dental exam, full 3D imaging, custom treatment plan, and payments as low as $149 a month. That's the key, $149 a month on approved credit. And so you could eat the foods you love. You could smile in photos. You wouldn't have to spend 2 hours trying to Photoshop a smile in. You mentioned KFI or John, you get the Summer Smile Special. Payments as low as $149 a month. You could swing that. I'm sure you got $149 a month. All right. Just go easy on some of the other stuff you're doing online. LastingSmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow. High 70s to the mid-90s. This report brought to you by iHeartAdvertising.com. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Stall on the 405 in Long Beach.
It's on the southbound side coming up on Atlantic. They're clearing it out of the carpool lane, but delays are loading up all the way out of Inglewood, getting away from Century Boulevard. Let's also check out Irvine with a wreck on the 405 northbound at MacArthur Boulevard. Everyone's off to the shoulder, but delays are loading up, leaving the 133 and Pasadena. 210 eastbound past Lake. Middle lane's blocked due to a 3-car pileup. Delays here away from Mountain. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. Learn how podcasting can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart. This report is sponsored by Pro-Life Across America.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Please make a gift today. Visit prolifeacrossamerica.org.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
Check out AMCO's multiple financing options, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow.
AA MCO.
AMCO, with over 40 centers serving Southern California.
Don't let the June gloom fool you. Whether it's cool or hot, termites are still active. Droppings and discarded wings are signs of an infestation. Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free inspection. Get our no tent, no move out treatment with a 2-year warranty. Call 800-PACIFIC. Some restrictions apply.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
There's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Listen to Joy 101 with Hoda Kotb on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
As veterans, life can often feel like it gives us little control, spinning us through moments of turmoil and peace, companionship and loneliness. But with each challenge, we come closer to finding our place, out of darkness and into light. When it feels like your world is moving too quickly, you're not alone. VA is standing by. Explore mental health resources and treatments for veterans at mentalhealth.va.gov.
Is it time to downsize? Selling your home doesn't have to be a hassle.
With Seller's Advantage, you can skip the commissions and costly repairs. By the time you pay for repairs, you could have already sold your home for a fair, competitive price without the worry of the deal falling through.
Here's what Chris Chavez, a real Seller's Advantage customer, had to say. Seller's Advantage was definitely the best company I've worked with. They offered me more than I expected, and the whole process was great. They were helpful, always answer the phone, and willing to help. I can't say enough about the experience. Much better than going through a realtor.
Get your free no obligation cash offer today. Call Seller's Advantage at 888-321 as is. 888-321 as is.
That's 888-321-2747 or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 019616558. Providence Realty DRE number 019152212.
You'll learn more before breakfast than most people learn all day. Wake Up Call with Amy King. Live 5 to 6 a.m. on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show and Moist Line for Friday, 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86. We've given you a lot of material about the grifters that run the state, Jennifer and Gavin Newsom. Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app, too. Thanks to everybody who's joined and subscribed on YouTube. And that video, the whole show, will be online at in just a few minutes at 6 o'clock, along with the podcast as well. Okay. The gas prices are dropping rapidly because there is a preliminary deal that Trump and the Iranians have announced, and then they're going to spend 60 days trying to add all the details. Seems like the deal is very broad in its wording at this point, although nobody has seen it yet. but that's just the general feeling. So this has caused oil prices to drop dramatically, oil futures, which has already led to gas prices dropping dramatically as well. However, it doesn't change that here in California, despite the idiot lying Newsom trying to blame Trump, we are still paying well over $2 a gallon than most of the other states. Do you know that 26 states in America are now selling gas in the threes? The lowest is Indiana at $3.36, the average. You know what our average is? $5.71. $5.71. In Indiana, it's $3.36. We paid $2.35 more than Indiana, and it is entirely because of Newsom's taxes and regulations. Texas, where Elon Musk fled to, and now he's literally bringing trillions of dollars of wealth to the state of Texas, is at $3.50. And you've got many states, Democratic states, big states, that are all selling gas cheaper. Again, 26 states in the threes. So nothing stops them from abusing us. And then they're going to be running on affordability. They're going to run on affordability when they've been selling us $5 and $6 gas and $7 gas all year. And now if this peace agreement holds, the gas is going to drop into the twos in many states and into the threes in other states. And we'll still be paying $4.50, $4.80, $5. Why people put up with this? Everybody just bends over and says, beat me again, Gavin. Beat me again. I've been a bad citizen. Wow. Pretty crazy. Now, you know it's bad when Arnold Schwarzenegger, who started this nonsense back in 2006 with his global warming bill that he was so proud of, and boy, did he create this monster. Jesus, that started the insanity. He worked with the Democrats. It was this first major sin, the first major blunder he committed as governor. Got all wound up in the climate change hysteria, the global warming fanaticism. It's all a mental illness. The world's not coming to an end. But that was the year Al Gore released his stupid movie, which turned out to be wrong, and wrong. So now he was speaking out in Europe, and he said that I would have to say that California is making some major mistakes policy-wise. They've made fuel very expensive. Thanks, Arnold. Arnold's a billionaire, too. He noted that the state's gas prices are way more expensive compared to the rest of the U.S. $5.71. National average is $4.04. And like I said, 26 states are in the threes. And the national average will be in the threes any day now. And he's complained the legislators won't make it easier to open more refineries in California. No, because they're crazy. These are crazy people. He says the refineries now go to Texas. So you have to ship the oil to Texas, then you have to refine it there, then you have to ship it back again. What do you think happens when you ship it? That's pollution. Yes, it is. But it's not just Texas. We're getting gasoline from Asia and the Middle East. Texas would be a short hop compared to where we're getting gas from. And he said it's absolutely contradictory to what they believe in, meaning these idiot legislators. But again, that's not the point. The point is that they're corrupt. They don't care that people are paying $6 for gas. Do they really believe in this climate change nonsense after all this time? I don't understand what the upside is for the legislators unless somehow they're getting a cut here. Somehow they're profiting. Like, I understand why the homeless industry gets billions of dollars, because the nonprofits are tied into the politicians. There's got to be kickbacks at the end of the rainbow. There has to be. Because even the UN has backed off on their climate fanaticism. It's not even, in fact, the Democrats are not even going to be running on climate change anymore. It's a dead issue. It's deceased. Maybe it comes back someday, but it's deceased. Everywhere but here. And Schwarzenegger is going public with it. Well, you know what? It's 20 years too late. If you'd kept your trap shut back in 2006, you started this stupid hysteria. It's predictable that it would have led to this, piling taxes, piling regulations, driving refineries out of business. Now we're polluting, quote, the air far more. We have far more emissions because you have these tankers that are chugging all the way from the Middle East, from Asia across the Pacific Ocean. Our pipeline shut itself down? The one major pipeline we had, that's shut down. Refineries are all shut down. We had 43, now we got 6. Started with Schwarzenegger, ended with Newsom. And that's why we've been paying, I paid a couple of weeks ago, $6.50. $6.50 for gas in my neighborhood. So incredibly stupid. Well, just go to sleep tonight knowing in Indiana they're paying $3.36 a gallon. And you're not, because they're much smarter in Indiana. They're much more intelligent. They don't elect idiots to raise their gas prices by $2.50. We'll be back tomorrow. Podcast's going to be released. You'll be able to watch the YouTube video too. And we're going to have Eileen Gonzalez now in for Crozier live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.